right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Planet Xbox. I think this is like episode 7, at least of the year 2020. But big episode today. Got a lot of guests today. We had a crazy week. We had a full big blown Xbox Series X reveal, details and all, with Digital Foundry and Austin Evans, and like kind of all the shebang about the Xbox Series X is out there. And then today, Mark Cerny has given the deep dive on the PlayStation 5, also revealing some of the specs we've been asking about. So I got some of the community's best from the PlayStation side of things, obviously Xbox side of things, and the neutral side of things. And we're going to just discuss some of pretty much what was revealed and give everybody's like thoughts and reactions. Some of this stuff is still fresh on everyone's mind. I am your host of Best Bot Kid Smooth. I'm gonna start with BitCloud, man. Thank you for joining last minute. I appreciate it. Just want to say what's up, and it's been great seeing your like channel and your podcast like grow over the year, but I am happy to have you. I've been on your show a couple of times, but I think this is the first time I kind of had you on my platform. So I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Please give it an intro.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite, brother. As always, man. Been meaning to get on here, and I'm glad I can make it. I'm glad the rumors and speculation are officially done as of today, so it's good. But yeah, looking forward to talking about this. So let's start the show.
And on to another guest. Shout out, and this man, ever since I brought the podcast back, has been tweeting it, tweeting the podcast out. I've never asked him to do it, but it always catch me like 5 minutes in. I see the tweet show up across my screen. Finally got him on the show. Saltiest Gaming, man. What's up?
Yo, thanks for having me on, man. I'm still trying to wake up from Mark Cerny's like discourse. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was back in college, getting put to sleep. But yeah, man, it's good to be here. Excited to talk about stuff, man. There's lots to break down, and thanks for having me on again.
No, absolutely, I appreciate it. And then of course we got Melon Matt. Melon Matt, I don't know if you guys remember, but Melon Matt was like the first person to pay the unblock fee. I forgot. I don't even know if I still do this shit, but shout out to Melon Matt. And Melon,
you gonna bring that back up?
Bro, like I was going through some things, and I will be on I guess it got to go through approval, but I think I'm supposed to be on AGS.
Yeah, no. I told him you coming on.
All right, cool. I'll be there. All right. We got some shit to talk. So
yeah, we definitely do.
How you doing, Matt?
Yo, what's up, man? Check me out. It's Melon Matt. Check me out on Twitter. AGS every Sunday. Let's get into it, man.
All right. And then, of course, the panel members. We're going to start with Def Grips. If you press pause on this video game.
No, shit, my bad. What's good, y'all? Just the Grips. Let's get into it. I got a lot of laughing to do, so.
Yeah, and all that laughing is going to come at the expense of Chris Righteous. How you doing, Chris?
Man, ain't nobody gonna be laughing at me because I got smoke for all of y'all. Y'all think? Listen, man, it's your boy Chris Righteous. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to all the guests, Melon Matt, BitCloud, Salty. Appreciate y'all coming through. It's gonna be a great episode of Planet Xbox. We got a lot of information to talk about with both the Xbox Series X and the PS5. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. And for some of y'all, the Xbox thinking y'all got the W because of a little bit T5 count. Nah, bro. Y'all gonna see why.
No, okay, Chris.
Right.
Okay.
You got the flames. You got the flames.
And your Coke Boy J, man, I missed you, man. I miss you. This is the perfect episode to come back, bro. Like, so, how you doing?
I've been doing great. Just been out and about, getting some business handled, but we're back, better than ever. It's about to be a very, very great episode. Have a lot of guests, a lot of opinions being thrown in here. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And this should probably be one of the most entertaining podcasts we're gonna have so far. So enjoy, guys.
And Nick Banks, man.
Yo, what's good, man? It's Nick Banks. Follow me on Twitter. Usually running around, smacking around foot soldier ponies, but now I'm surrounded by some, you know what I mean, some level 2 bosses, I should be able to handle it. Let's go.
All right. All right. So, all right. Pretty much this time last week, it was still, we were still in speculation wars. I mean, sure, we had some facts to deal with because the Xbox obviously has been drip feeding information. It felt like at least like every week something like major was either confirmed or announced. Since the Xbox was like really the first to drop, and we like our podcast, we didn't do. Well, it happened after the podcast, I believe. I think it happened like when did this? The Xbox thing just happened actually like 2 days ago. I'm sorry, like the week is passing by like
It was
slow
like
and
Monday.
fast at the same time.
Yeah,
It's like
so-
Monday or some shit, right?
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? Like, let's talk about the Xbox specs. Is there? We got the features. We got the numbers. We got demos. We got tech demos. Stuff that we can actually see some tangibles. What was your thoughts on the rollout? Xbox has been being very bold this time around, dating back to December with the Game Awards and now with this whole Austin Evans thing and Digital Foundry and the demos they pull out, even the clever tweets making fun of the memes that they had back in December with the refrigerator. I want to know your thoughts. What do you guys think on the pretty much the rollout and pretty much what was your first impression of the specs of the information that came out through Digital Foundry and Austin Evans? Anybody can tackle first. Who was ever? Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
I could jump in, man. I was really skeptical on this whole Series X thing, but honestly, they've been a different Xbox from the get, right? Like surprised us at the Game Awards, boom, had trailers of the next game, looked photorealistic. People were actually questioning whether it was like actually real or not. And then they went from that, from shocking the world to a steady trickle of information. That their communication has been second to none, and I think that they need props for that because it's been a steady stream after steady stream of just reveals. And then the thing that I liked about them coming out on Monday is Eurogamer, Digital Foundry. They're the ones that were breaking the shit down, and a majority of people were calling them frauds and saying that they're biased and they're paid off this whole generation, which is funny. But they were just gushing over this product, man. I mean, from the hardware side, when they were like pulling out the components, like they were breaking it down, they had the case, like the way it's designed, you could just tell it's made well because of the parts. They've been working on this for years. I think they started working on this before the Xbox One X came out, right? It's been like, yeah, so you can tell that Microsoft's been putting lots of thought into this product. And like I said, go check the tapes. I've been as critical as anybody would be on this, but they've turned around a lot of my thought processes on it because I just see how well built it is, man. And you look at like how the cooling system is, and they had one of the practice runs was the Xbox One X. I own that console. I know how quiet it is. I know how efficient it is. So that's been one of my biggest question marks with the PlayStation 5 is how are you going to cool down the heat? You know what I'm saying? We don't even know what the PlayStation 5 even looks like. But with the Series X, we know it's a tower for a reason. Like if you look at all the parts that are in there, they slot in there like a jigsaw puzzle. There's like really no room for anything else. And the way it's stacked, it's like no other console you see. If you've taken apart consoles, none of them look like this, right? So the communication's been spot on. The power's there. Everything's different. So you got to give them props for how open they are, how just they put out how confident they are, right? You talked about the marketing strategy, comparing it to a refrigerator. They wouldn't have done that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like a joke like that and just catching people off guard. I think it's a good approach. And then we'll talk about PlayStation's approach, but we pretty much know everything about the Series X except for the price, you know? So I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's like at this point, it's March 18th. There's the only questions we really have about the Xbox Series X is what's the exact date, what's the price, and what's going on? Is there going to be this rumored Lockhart thing? But in terms of the system itself that they've been talking about,
Pretty much, you know everything.
We know everything. The
Yeah.
looks, the plastic. We know how much it weighs. We know how much. We know the size. It's crazy. There's the ports on the back, everything. Which is, it's like, okay, so now we got like some tangibles to deal with. BitCloud, man, like I said, I've been busy trying to catch up on everybody's like YouTube.
J-Dubs in general.
Oh, he's
Go
in
ahead
general.
and
I'm
explain.
gonna drag him down. I've been trying to catch up with everybody's content because I like to see everybody's reactions and stuff. But what was your reaction to the Xbox Series X when they came through Monday morning at 9:00 Eastern?
Oh, you talking when they first revealed
Oh,
that
actually,
the
it
game
was before. It was like 8:00 Eastern. No,
It was 8 o'clock because it happened.
it was
It was the
early.
first. It was like the first announcement of the show, right? It was like the big announcement of the show. When I first saw it, like I remember, if I remember correctly, when I first saw it, I thought it was a.
No, I'm talking about this Monday's reveal with like Digital Foundry.
Oh, the Monday reveal. Okay, now the one with Austin there. So okay, one thing I gotta give Microsoft props for. They got a more charismatic person to talk about the system in general
Agreed.
and break it down. So Austin Evans did a better job, in my personal opinion, than Digital Foundry as he broke it down and he looked at, he listed everything that was so good about it. It was good. It was no issues at all. I thought it was handled really good when they showed out the RTX mode. I know a lot of people were trying to nitpick it before we even got to this day, and of course, which ironically and hypocritical, a lot of them were like, oh well, I'm not expecting no PS5 games for today's show, right? I'm okay with them showing some PS4, like, Spider-Man and whatnot to demo. But again, a lot of people tend to flip-flop. But to go back and stay on topic, the games that they did show on here, like the multiple suspend and resume feature, the RTX mode for Minecraft, and of course, the Lock 60, I guess that's the performance increase mode type of thing they're trying to do for the other games, like older games. So they show Gears running at a Lock 60, no issues. It looked good. There was no complaints whatsoever. And the fact they even threw in, they didn't even have to do this right here where they showed Evans put the damn thing together.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to do that, but at the same time, they showed that they're open to talk about this. And that goes a long way with the consumer, because not only are you showing the details of the box, right, but you're also giving them more information than they want right now just to get them through. And so that was one of the issues that this conference right from Sony had to really address, if you get what I'm saying, right? So, again, Microsoft did a better job in keeping their gamers in the loop. But the thing about Sony's event that they just did today, we don't even know when's their next one. And that's kind of the issue here. I know a lot of people are saying this is the GDC conference, and rightfully so it is. When the show started, you can clearly see that it was a pre-recording. I don't know if y'all noticed that as soon as it
Yeah,
started.
it was.
Yeah, it was pre-recorded.
Portal Rock trying to join. Portal Rock's trying to join.
But,
My bad.
Oh, you're good.
I mean,
So you can tell it was pre-recorded, and since it was pre-recorded, a lot of people was like, "Okay, so what is really, what to expect?" There was no hardware shown in any particular fashion. So the controller was not shown, console was not shown. Does that mean the system is not done? I don't want to sit here and say that, because that's weird. What I say is I guess they thinking that same strategy is going to carry over for PS5, and the thing is, you can probably still, you can still wow people with hardware, but at the same time, it's like we already know what's in there. And Microsoft has been upfront with every single thing with theirs. So again, Xbox gamers so far have been more in the loop with the box and know what they're getting, what they're paying for versus what is happening with PS5 right now.
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't hold back. I mean, I've been super excited about all the information that's been coming out, and like I'm as a content creator, it's been bad because my reaction has been slower versus years past, because I'll watch the source and then I'll watch peers reaction and whatnot. So that's why I was like, I still gotta watch what everybody's podcasting about. I was like, I'm still working down my subscription list and stuff like that. But who else did we got here? I'm still waiting for Porter Rock to join the general so I can pull him down.
I'll go next when it comes to
ahead,
like.
Chris.
Okay, so when it comes to this, the Series X and Microsoft rollout, I think they've been doing a very good job. A lot better than last generation or this generation, right? With the misstep that they had, with the huge misstep that they had with the Xbox One, and how they had all that rolling out. They've been doing a much better job keeping the gamers and consumers informed. Dropping, frequently, these little tidbits and informations and confirming everything from like the speculations and whatnot. So honestly, Microsoft they've been doing a really good job with the rollout. Um, now of course we still gotta see what they're gonna do as far as games, which is the most important thing. But I understand, they bought y'all gonna bring up all they bought all these studios or whatnot. But as of right now,
As they should.
yeah. But as of right now, we don't have going off of what they did this generation. I don't have too much confidence in their games going into next generation as of right now until they prove me wrong. But as far as the rollout, great job, Microsoft. So that's
Yep,
all I got.
I agree.
J Dub, what's going on, man? I see.
What's good, bro?
Like, are you feeling a lot of, like, people coming at you, man?
Huh? What you say?
I said, are people coming at you?
Nah.
Nobody's
No,
coming at
nobody
you.
coming.
Nobody pulled out with
Nah.
receipts.
Nah.
All right.
They
Well, about
listen.
that.
They know I'm a bullshitter, so it don't matter.
All right,
Yeah,
first
they
take.
know.
I know we're all fresh off like obviously the PlayStation, and we're definitely gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about both, and we're gonna compare and contrast and whatnot. But just to dilute that, because obviously since that's the first thing that's fresh on our mind, I'm just rewinding you back to Monday. Your pretty much your initial impressions on how that went down, and did that change anything for you in regards on the Xbox side?
No, it didn't change anything, and I'm gonna tell you why. Back when we had the Game Awards, when Phil came out and he had basically a flawless entry showing of the Xbox Series X, I said then right then and there, that's the Microsoft that I wanted to see. That's the confident feel I wanted to see. That's what gamers wanted to see. They showed the console. They showed off, something that we didn't know, something that wasn't leaked, which was Hellblade. So and it looked good. So they showed us something that they didn't fumble it, right? This whole generation, Microsoft is known for just fumbling everything. So they did that right, and then come out when they like you said, this last week, the Xbox Series X, when they rolled that out and talked about the specs and everything it was going to do, they rolled it out. It was flawless. They didn't stumble, they didn't fumble, and so I'm liking what I'm seeing. For a while now, the hardware hasn't necessarily been the problem for Microsoft. It's always been the games and their messaging. Even when they come out with a good game, they stumble on their messaging. They just fall all over the place. But it
Yep.
seems right now they're in a stride, right? So they're in a stride that's positive, and so we know the system is going to be powerful, just like the Xbox One X is powerful. That has not been the problem. The issue has always been the messaging and the delivery on the games. So they're on a roll, right? If they keep this up, they keep this momentum up, and they keep delivering on what they're doing with the messaging. The hardware is there, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, if they can deliver on the games and all these studios that they purchase, man, I think we'll be back like we was last generation with the competing head to head. But again, they have to deliver on the games, and I think that's their number. That's the number one thorn in the side that people will look the other way when it comes to Sony, because they know eventually those games are going to be there. They know eventually they're going to get sequels to the games that have been good, and they're going to get more and more and more. So people are willing to turn the other way when it comes to Sony's fumbling and stumbling and misgivings, whereas people are on Microsoft's ass. Microsoft they can't make one single mistake, or else people are going to capitalize on that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I hope they keep it up. They got the momentum. They just gotta deliver on the games, man. No more excuses. It's going to be hard to tell people why they got a 12 TFOP system sitting in their home, with no software to show off that power, a distinctive show off of that power.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Shout out to Showon. He says, "Smooth, let P Rock in." I already let him in. He's on mute, so he's here. He's here. Shout out to Puerto Rock. I want to get also Matt, man. I know you be on that PC BS, but what's up, man? What's your thoughts on this?
What my thoughts on it? All right. I mean, it's pretty much copy and paste what everybody else has been saying. Like they got a really good rollout, but yeah, I mean, if they don't bring some games, if these devs, studios that they're buying, if they don't capitalize and show like what the hell this system is capable of in terms of power, then shit ain't gonna matter.
I don't know, man. You sound like a little hate, bro. But
No.
I'm just messing with you, bro. All right. So, Coke Boy, any of you guys got anything to say about this before I start, man? Because this could take like forever getting like each and every individual on each conference.
I mean, we pretty much all agree that the rollout's good, right?
The rollout.
Yeah.
Rollout.
Yeah.
All right,
Like
next
I
topic
had,
then.
Way better than going in.
All right. So let's jump into the more recent thing. All right. So PlayStation had their conference or their deep dive, or certainly the pre-recorded. It was my opinion was it was very, very dry. And I was looking for, the thing is, I didn't have a high expectation, but I had an expectation, and that was the problem. I had an expectation. My expectation was, okay, I thought I would see like Spider-Man, like a demonstration again, and maybe not even a new IP, but just like some PS4 shit, like, but just showing how much better or what can be done. And we didn't get much of anything. We don't see the DualShock. We didn't see the console, even though I think it was like teased, that little X looking thing that they had in the image that leaked, like I say, a couple months back. So that might have been some sort of indication, but it's just there was like no excitement behind it. It was very boring. I guess the highlight for me, obviously, which also leaked before, was that the SSD was going to be like crazy, and it was confirmed to be faster than the Xbox Series X. I want my Xbox guys to tackle this first. The PlayStation reveal, man. What's going on? Let's start with Coke Boy J.
I mean, I agree with a lot of what people have been saying. I want to see real world tests of how fast the SSD inside the PlayStation 5 is going to vary versus the Xbox Series X. Because once you start entering that realm of everybody having SSDs within your system, there's going to be subtle nuances between them. So what is it going to be like? An extra 2 to 3 seconds of loading time? It's all relative. So like to use that as the one and only thing, say, hey, this is what's going to trump our console, isn't really true, and it's sort of misleading to a lot of different people as well. It is a great feature, but I want to see more from Sony in terms of what the new software is going to be running on that console, a lot of new features that they have going, because we've seen everything from Microsoft so far. I've seen the faster loading times in real time. I've seen the backwards compatibility and how it can do. And I've seen the HDR remastering of older titles on this current system and how they're upscaling these games to run better, like they've been talking about for the past 2 months. So, and the quick resume, is amazing. So for Sony, I just want to see more before I make my own judgment about it. Like, yes, this recent conference was a little lackluster, but I still feel like they have more to do. So like, I'm not gonna really make a harsh judgment of Sony right now. I did feel like watching that conference, there was a little bit of backpedaling and false justification of why they did certain things. But other than that, I don't know. It's just a little bit of a weird time for Sony, I guess.
What would you say? Can you elaborate on those
the
backpedaling and like the?
I mean, when it came down to certain things about how would I explain it? Like the performance, right? Like how some people try to misconstrue what was said inside the conference about performance and how it's not everything, right? And I'm like, I can literally use an Xbox Series X to brute force performance because I have extra compute units within it. And if you look at raw performance alone from the CPU and the GPU from both systems, like the Series X is superior, and you're gonna see that performance gains. So, there's no refuting that. It's just a fact.
I agree. On paper, it sounds good on paper, but in real world performance, there are games on the PlayStation 4 Pro that looks better and run better on the Pro than it does the X. So again, at the end of the day,
give me an example.
Give
me an example.
Call of Duty
looks better.
Looks better and runs better.
What about Shadow of War?
No, listen.
Let me pull
I
that
get
up.
it. There's 2 or 3 games.
Middle of Shadow War.
Wait. Listen, I don't want to go back and forth. I'm trying to use a point, right? And the point is, it really depends up to the developer and how they optimize it and what they want to do. Because there are games, believe it whether you want to believe it or not, that according to Digital Foundry look better and run better. Now I get 6 T-flops. I get on paper it should dog walk the Pro. I get that. But to the average gamer, with their eyes and what they see, it's not enough to. We should be able to see that 2 T-flop difference.
I'm not talking about just 2 teraflops. I'm talking about compute units as well. That's like, what is it? What is it? 36 compute? No, how many compute units does this shit have?
It's 36.
36 versus 52. That's a significant difference in performance.
And that's what Mark Cerny explained. He tried to explain it. Now you got to realize this is an engineer. This is someone who develops processors. He develops games and everything, right? And you're trying to take that knowledge that this guy have decades, and you're trying to give it to gamers that all they've did their whole life is just game. They haven't designed the game. They don't know the insides and out, right? They read from the forums. They listen to Digital Foundry and try to piece the shit together. So you're taking this guy that has developed successful consoles for his whole career, and you're trying to listen to what he has to say and try to compare that to something else. Now, what does a fucking compute unit do? Can anybody on this panel tell me what a compute unit does?
Fuck no.
Exactly.
It computes units.
Hey, that's what I would say, right? So think about it. We're armchair developers trying to say, well, this one has more compute units than this one, but this man sit up here and explained it. Digital Foundry as well. If you just watch their recent video, tried to explain where he said if you really wanted to show the difference, and you can't do with RDNA 1 and RDNA 2, which is 2 totally different architectures. He said if that's the case, then that means that PS5 would have like 58 compute units if you tried to put it into the other category. You can't compute it like that. That's not. This is a whole different thing, right?
Mark Herney is the same guy that tried to tell us that he could get 8 teraflops out the PS5.
He was talking about rapid back math.
I mean, whatever you.
Which developers didn't utilize.
I agree. Now check this out. I agree with you 1,000%. Now check this out. Isn't it ironic? Mere days ago, Microsoft adopted the same rapid pack match strategy to try to justify and say that the Xbox Series X is capable of 25 T-flops. So listen, I'm just saying, guys. I'm not trying to.
No, that's not the
point. I understand exactly what you're saying.
That's not the point. That was not the point.
Cannot deny that on paper, right now, like I said, we have to see real world performance. But on paper, right now, from what we're seeing, Series X is more powerful than PS5. And like, we're gonna see real world performance when both systems come out.
Can I interject, gentlemen?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Dispute.
You gotta be fair.
Puerto Rock, shout out to Puerto Rock. He's in here.
Hey, yo, you're only friend of YouTube streets. I'm chilling with the best bot. All right, but listen, we gotta be fair. When Cerny talked about the comparison, he didn't use the Xbox Series X as his barometer. He used 2 equivalent systems that had the same T-flops, one with more compute units versus one with, higher hertz frequency clocks.
And what architecture are they running on?
No, the same architecture. All right.
Okay.
If you looked at his thing, all he was making the argument was for PlayStation 5, right? To get to 10.3 T-flops, they went with higher bandwidth versus more CUs.
Yes.
Comparison with. So I think that's where the confusion is at. He is just saying for the PlayStation 5 to get to their 10.3 with higher free counts, lower free counts, and more CUs. That's all he's saying.
Yes,
right.
Right? It seems like, hey, if we're going to do 10.3 T-flops, you can do it with lower frequency, but more CUs, or lower CUs and higher frequency. They went with the higher frequency because supposedly, if you look at the Digital Foundry video, they explain it that there's more bandwidth for the catch and all that.
Yes.
Right.
Higher free count. That is not a knock on Xbox Series X because they have more CUs.
X has.
I don't think it was a knock.
Series X has 560 gigabits of memory bandwidth versus.
Well, that's a different combo. That's a different combo.
That's the same thing. That's the
It's
same
no,
thing we're talking
no,
about. You're
two
talking about
total.
bandwidth.
no,
That's
No,
different things.
No.
different
They're talking
things,
about
man.
It's
that's
memory.
Two
It's
totally different
memory.
things.
That's memory
yeah,
bandwidth that's
No,
being accessed by the
that's
GPU.
not. But that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the catch. I got it. I know what you're saying, but you're stepping into something different now. All right.
Can I say something real quick? The thing is, they Digital Foundry broke this down in their article. It's two different strategies by these companies. They admitted that. So
Yeah,
with
Yes.
there's more than one
PlayStation
way to skin a
5,
cat.
yeah, the PlayStation 5 is using AMD's Smart Shift technology, which it shifts back and forth between the CPU and the GPU depending on the power that's utilized in each one. So let's just say you need more power with the GPU, can send some more over with the CPU, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas on the Series X, it's kind of a lock situation. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. Necessarily, but you got to wait and see. That's why looking at a straight one-to-one with teraflops is not the way to go. You look
And they
at
said
multiple examples. Yeah,
Digital
developers
Foundry
say
even said that. They said you cannot look at it from apples to apples. But guys they'll block it out, right? Let's take it. The fanboy mindset will let it block out. They'll block out any common sense and just focus on what they want to.
Hey Jay, how many times have we said on RGT that Sony was going for efficiency over brute force?
Yes, we said it, and then here's the same.
But
thing,
hold
right?
on, why do you guys consider the Xbox brute force? Like,
because it's so powerful.
Has a more powerful GPU, and they're going with higher.
That's not our words. That's Microsoft's words.
Microsoft's pushing. They're going for the full.
With the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X was brute force. We got the muscle. We'll push through any kind of thing we have. It's just like the backwards compatibility. Well, forget it. We have the power. We'll just push through it and make sure all those backwards compatibility games are 4K 60 native. So that's not a knock on them. That's just telling you what Microsoft said.
Nah, I agree with y'all.
It's not just brute force though. Those games are optimized to run on those systems as well.
I'm gonna say this though. C versus brute force. That logic only works if the PlayStation 5 is cheaper. Because if you're going this route, it's because you're trying to say. Yeah, if you're going this route, you're trying to minimize cost. Like let's say
at this rate, I would reckon that it'll be.
He mentioned that a couple times.
I would reckon that $400 would be the price point.
6 compute units. It seems like they want a cheap, which is why they probably didn't want.
AMD
selling the same shit.
Well, that contradicts what was said on Business Insider months ago about how Sony's struggling with the cost of PS5. Then
now let me ask you this:
months ago, though.
That was months ago.
Yeah, but the situation is even worse now due to manufacturing slowdown. So,
but here's the thing:
cost of parts are more expensive.
But listen. Here's the thing.
Hold on. Let's say that is true. If PlayStation 5, let's say that I think the BOM was $430, then how much is it for Xbox? Because you're not going to tell me all that.
Who can operate at a loss better?
Okay, it doesn't matter who can operate all.
Xbox hasn't taken a loss.
They're not playing like
Microsoft is going to make the money up.
Yeah. They don't want to take a loss. That's not how you
do
roll
it. Sony's going to make the money up. There's more people willing to buy PlayStations than there are Xbox.
It's not just about that. It's about the amount of liquidity you have in your company. Microsoft has more money to burn.
We're not going there, brother. Microsoft is not trying to lose money, bro.
No.
They got a budget.
Trying to lose
the
money.
Xbox
Nobody's trying to lose
money.
money. Can they take the loss? Who can absorb the loss more?
Listen, it's not about.
Hold on. But you can't. The Xbox division, they have a budget to work in. They don't just throw. All the money in the world at them.
They threw the money at 360 with the Red Ring of Death situation.
Yeah. All you got $1 billion at that.
That was more like a fix.
That was more like a quick fix. They had no choice but to play.
Let me interject right quick. Shout out to Gaming Addict. He says, "What if they're both $500?"
They won't be. That would be crazy price.
Even if they are, right?
That would be crazy.
Even if they are, right? Even if they're both $500, at the end of the day, if you're a PlayStation guy, you're gonna buy a PlayStation regardless. If you're an Xbox guy, you're gonna buy Xbox regardless. At the end of the day, it's all about the games, right? When they show Halo running on the 12T flop system, and when they show Horizon Zero Dawn running on that,
did they show it on a PC or?
No. I'm just saying, right? Eventually, after this summer, eventually they're gonna put a price tag on this stuff, and they're gonna have to show you some games running on it. And when that day comes, That's going to be your deciding factor of if I'm going to spend $500 or $600 on this system, or if I'm going to spend $500 or $600 on that system. And I'm going to tell you, because of this whole generation, we kind of know how this situation is going to go. Sony's going to show you some shit. If you think that they knew how to make magic out of 1.86 T flops, imagine what their first party is going to do with fucking 10 T flops.
What? All right. So did they show us that with the PS4
Yes.
on the launch? I wasn't wild about nothing.
Listen. Regardless of what, listen. Hold on. Regardless,
just being honest.
I'm gonna be honest. Regardless of what game you call shit you don't care about, Killzone Shadowfall is still one of the best looking games you can even to this day standard. It's one of the best looking graphical games, right? We want eye candy.
I have a question.
When they sell these systems, when they sell these systems, they're gonna have to show us the eye candy. All of these features and services and stuff go out the door. It's all about what game you can put on this platform and say, I can only get here. That's generally what's going to happen for most gamers.
Which console was more powerful at launch, PS4 or Xbox One? PS4, right?
Yeah, PS4.
Okay. We had that. Was the launch games that great besides Killzone?
On both sides. On both sides.
You had Infamous
on both
sides. Okay. And who had better features? Who had better features day one?
Don't tell
PS4, Xbox.
That's Xbox. They had TV. They had
no. PS4 had more compelling features day one than Xbox One. That's a fact.
Who had better TV?
Yeah, who had better TV? Who had the better voice command?
The features that you got with the controller and everything, right? Who's showing off more features? Who's showing off more features right now? Xbox is showing off more features with their system. They're showing off the capability of the system. They're getting the system into people's hands. Sony was doing the same thing in 2013, getting the system in people's hands to show off the console. Yeah, Sony's not doing that this time around.
Wait.
The tables have turned.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Tables haven't turned.
Not yet. But what's the message?
Y'all keep thinking that.
All right, one at a time.
All right, one at a time, guys.
The developers
arrogant mindset that had them selling at 600.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the problem Xbox One has, and I don't know why people can't accept it. The problem was Microsoft sold a $500 console and couldn't explain why it was $500 other than you got a camera that you can fucking Skype.
Nobody cares.
What is that?
What is that?
Explain what that is. That's bad marketing.
Yes,
bad marketing.
Bad decision making.
Listen.
That is bad marketing.
You cannot market.
Xbox was not marketed properly.
You cannot market any gaming console and convince people the reason why you want this is to Skype when everybody was already FaceTiming on their phones.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't understand how people don't understand that point. People literally told me, oh, Xbox is great because you can Skype and watch fantasy football. I'm doing that.
They didn't market it as a gaming system. They're marketing this as a gaming console.
Now keep in mind, that's when the console was already out on the market. Listen, I understand there's hype behind previews and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, the true tell is when November comes and the stores and people walk into the store ready to buy it. On that day, what message do we have? Happening in May or June is when they walk in the store, they're going to see an Xbox Series X on the shelf, a PlayStation 5 on the shelf. What info do they have that day to drop down the money they have? That's what counts.
Yeah.
That's what really counts.
It's what lead up to it as well. And you gotta do good job of marketing your system and building hype around it too.
Listen, here is your biggest marketing point is showing off a game that cannot be done on a previous gen system. That's what it's going to boil down to. Showing off this game here can't be done anywhere else. So guess what? If you want to play this game here, that's the largest marketing tool a person has.
Yeah, I've seen ray tracing.
I'm sorry, Godfall ain't gonna be good enough. I'm just saying.
That's not even a Sony game. That's a third party game.
Yeah, but that's the only game we know right now.
Because
that's the only one.
Kid Smooth, wait, hold on. Kid Smooth, you mean to tell me, right? because Sony hasn't shown anything that they're just going to launch with God. Come on,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sony has
I agree with
Sony.
Smooth on that
Sony
one.
historically launches. Sony historically launches with like not the greatest launch games, and they'll let third party dominate. They'll let third party dominate.
Wait. If that's the case, then why none of Microsoft launch games got sequels? And Sony's games got sequels.
That was
We got
wasn't-
it. We
I
got
got-
two.
let me get
We
that.
got-
J
no,
Dub,
no,
J
we
Dub,
got it.
J
We
Dub.
got it.
That was circumstances.
No,
Okay,
no,
first
no,
off,
No.
It was right. It was all for
I got some
let me
damage
talk.
control.
Let me
I got some
talk.
damage
Let
control.
everyone else has
boy.
talked the whole podcast. Let me
Go
talk.
ahead.
For Dead Rising 3 did get a sequel. It sucked.
Dead Rising 4 was awesome, by the way. So
No, Dead Rising 4 was
Rise
trash.
was third party.
Right.
Go
That
ahead.
was
Rise was
flat.
third party. That there was issues with the trademark on who belonged and who owned it. That was the reason that didn't come out. There wasn't. It wasn't just like they didn't want to fund these games. They wanted
Sunset
to, but they
Overdrive.
couldn't do it.
But see, that's the difference in this
That's
rollout.
decision making.
You know, yeah, basically, you know, they don't have to worry
Well,
about going
they
shopping to
fixed
third
that.
parties no more. You feel me?
That's the reason.
Where was
the
Phil
reason
out?
They bought studios.
Where was Phil out when they made all these decisions for games?
was
running
He
first
didn't have
party.
the power.
He
If
had-
they
he
didn't
has
have
no
any
power.
money to
He was-
support
he
them,
was-
then like
No,
how
he
they
was-
gonna get
no, he was running first party.
He was
Yeah,
running.
Well,
He was the Matt Booty. He was Matt
No,
Booty.
he was
It
in
doesn't-
charge.
you can't
He was in
compare-
charge of first party.
You cannot compare where he is now to where he was then. He had influence, but he didn't have the influence he has now.
And listen, come on, man. We can make up all the. Listen, we know the.
It's not made of circumstances.
No,
He
no,
is in a way better position than he was then.
Listen, I understand. What I'm saying is right. 2013 is 2013, right? Y'all said, well, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. The excuse was Phil wasn't in charge. Phil was in charge. Okay, it's 2020 now, right?
He wasn't.
Time. Yeah.
Listen,
You're seeing his
hold on.
freeze.
I'm
You're
trying to
seeing
make
what
a-
he has been
hold on,
doing
hold on,
this
hold
past
on.
couple years.
I'm trying to make a point here, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying
make
to
your point. Make your point.
2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. It's 2020 now.
Yeah.
Are we still now? Listen,
We're still
when
waiting.
these systems launch, right? Are we still going to make an excuse about feel this because it's been 7 years?
Well, I mean,
It's been
to be honest with
wait,
you,
hold
J-Dub,
on. Does it really take 7 years to get some decent games after Phil took over 6 months?
Decent games or
Listen, Phil. When did Phil step in his position? Literally 6
but
months.
to J Dub, let me
Yeah.
let me ask you a question though.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll shut up, brother. I'll shut up. Donnie D left 6 months after launch. Phil stepped in, and it took him, you might as well say, 6.5 to 7 years to be able to do something, right? And what do we have to show for that?
Look,
We
let's-
got what?
Hold on,
wait,
everyone.
wait, wait,
Let's
shut
be
up.
real
This
here.
is
What
what we have.
happened?
This is
What
we have.
happened?
He
What
bought
happened
some-
when
he bought some studios for the last couple of years? He's been buying studios, right?
As he should.
But think about it, right? At the same time, Nintendo was able to fail with the Wii U, turn around, give you a Switch to come back and dominate.
And you know why?
Wait, let me finish. Last
Okay.
generation,
Well, damage control.
Sony launched a year later, $200 more expensive, no rumble in the controller, no games, and they were able to turn it around within 3 years and come back and still
Because
win.
Nintendo has a first party to fall on. Microsoft didn't. He had to go. Studios.
Microsoft had.
He
one,
had to
they-
go.
They
no, they.
canceled.
He had Microsoft Entertainment
Let him
Studios.
speak. Let
Hold
him
on,
speak.
hold on.
Everyone stop talking. Let him speak.
They killed Lionhead. They killed all of these people, right? All these
Garbage.
studios, they killed them, and they never replaced them with anything.
They
all the
were
games
garbage. He
They
just did replace
but
them.
the thing is,
Okay.
look, J-Dub. They went into this generation with the L. They knew they was losing. They knew there was nothing they can do. Phil went in there and he's like, look, let's just coast, do whatever we can to get by because we've lost this entire generation. He knew that literally 6 months into the generation. You can't come back from the publicity.
But
he
you
had
sold me
when he
four more
came in.
consoles. But you gave up, and then you
But
turned around and
you
sold
can't
me
just
four
not do
more
nothing.
consoles.
You see,
So
he get that. He sold the X to take the power narrative away because it was killing him. Everyone could say what they want. It was. He did that to get that narrative away. He's been doing stuff. He bought all the studios because people said, "What are you working on? You can't make anything because we're tired of Halo, Gears, and Forza." So he bought all these studios and made one.
So, honest in this conversation, I'm gonna be honest. Hold up, J-Dub, you're my brother. But I even told you when we were doing our podcast, that Microsoft was not going to give you the big games.
Yep.
Told
Game
you
Pass. It's for Game Pass. That's why he bought That's why he bought AA studios and indie studios.
Oh my God! This. Okay.
But my thing with your statement is
hold on. That's
my thing with your statement is some of the studios that they're buying is giving good games.
Hold on, let me give a shout out because this falls right in. Shout out to
I'll give it to Obsidian.
Atro City.
Obsidian, yeah.
Atro City. Hold on, I gotta pay the super chat.
They look better than.
Hold on, let me pay this bill.
Grounded.
Let me pay this bill. Atro City Knight says for $5, he says Xbox shown a game taking full advantage of the Series X Hellblade 2 that sold me. Unfortunately, Atro City, we got somebody on here that think this is that game is just gonna be Game Pass fodder.
How do we know
look?
that?
Do some of these studios working on some side projects? Yeah, I mean. It's like I said, they were damned if they did and damned if they didn't, because we all know for a fact that they would have just canceled these projects and they would have come out, people would have attacked them for it.
Listen,
let me hop in.
For the last year, we've had to hear this. Well, this game, yeah, it came out, it got a lower Metacritic score, but guess what? That was a pet project. They were working on that back then, and another one come out. Well, that was made by their B team.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm sorry, but the Outer Worlds was the game of the year.
Let me ask you a question, J-Dub. Do you think that Hellblade is going to go from do you think that Ninja Theory is going to go from making bad games all of a sudden? Do you think Obsidian is going to go from making, stuff like the Stick of Truth? They made that. They made New Vegas. They made just the Outer Worlds. You think they're going to go from that to making trash games?
Let me answer. All right,
you go ahead.
All right. Here's the deal. It took me a while to get a PlayStation, but finally I came to my senses and I got one. Right, played all these great games.
Where the hell you been at?
Salty used to curse me out. He's like,
the thing is. It's with the mantra with Xbox. The reason why I got tired of it is always wait. We're waiting, right? Yes. We're waiting for games. And it's like every year there's no E3, so we can't wait for E3 this time. But the thing is like it's like it's like a dream when you're running, right? And you can never get to your destination because you just keep running. No matter how fast you run, you never get there. And that's what it feels like for me as an Xbox gamer, because it seemed like every year I'm just waiting. Anything beyond Halo, Gears, and Forza, it was just waiting. Let me finish. Let me respond right after you. So the thing is like, yeah, you bought all these studios, but they need to prove themselves. Plus, we're waiting some more. You're talking about Hellblade 2. That realistically is not coming out till 2021.
It'll be out before God of War.
2022, right? It's unproven. The things that we're getting in the meantime are AA fodder games.
You said Hellblade 2 is
grounded.
Yeah, so
right.
Did you play the Hellblade 1?
You've been talking a lot, bro. I'm trying to tell you. It's waiting.
I've been quiet this whole time.
And Coke Boy,
right, man? They trying to hijack this one.
So here's the deal. So everything that you guys are waiting for is unproven. So we got brand new studios. You're going to be waiting until 2022, 2023, 2024 until these games hit. Because if you want these AAA banger experiences, how long does it take to make? Right, Red Dead Redemption 2. How long did that take to make? How long did God of War take to make? You don't churn these games out in 2 seconds. So
the studios haven't been working on these games, so they haven't been working on these games.
We can't say the reason God of War and Red Dead took so long was because they were making the game.
Yeah.
Some of these games take long because they're making an engine before they make the game. That's the reason God of War took 5-6 years, because they made an engine to make the game. That's the reason Halo is taking so long, because they made the engine before they made the game.
When are you getting the Initiatives game? When are you going to get
I don't know.
2021.
That's very
when are you getting all the games that you're waiting for when are you getting the PS5 games, the ones that you're so hyped up about? Like,
here's the deal.
They're talking about games. I haven't seen nothing.
When the PS5 Pro
I haven't seen no new IPs.
For who?
For Sony, where they at though?
Wait, hold on.
Wow.
Come on. This dude talking about 2024.
Hold on.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point. You've made your point. Let me make my point. Can I defend my point?
Take control of your podcast. Start muting people.
Let me defend my point. Because you talking about how Hellblade 2 hasn't proven themselves, but we had Hellblade 1. Have you not played that game? Come on, bro.
Hey, trust me.
Check the cap.
Hey, check my gamer score. Check all the games I beat.
There's been nothing but teasers, tech demos, and performance been shown of these games. What more do you want?
You know what the comparison is? It's like the MCU
What more
and the
do you want?
DCEU, bro. All right, the MCU puts out banger after banger, right? And you just know that the quality's there. That's the same thing with PlayStation. You got quality games. You get sequels to them, so you know that quality's coming. All right, the DCEU, for example, they just put after flop after
That's like saying, yo, phase 4 is coming, but we know what's coming with Marvel with Phase 4. I have no idea what's happening with Sony. I know no games are coming out. No games.
See, yeah, because I know we can't just assume.
None.
Hold on. Let me interject.
Final Fantasy 7 is not coming out.
Let me interject. Here's the thing.
You're talking about a PS4 game. I'm talking about PS5.
Your own podcast.
Relax. Calm down, bro. Calm down.
Okay,
Hold
man.
on.
He's okay.
Now, here's the thing, right? Because you guys are saying, it's like you're taking like what's currently happened or what has happened on PS4, and then you're like applying it to PS5 by default, as if you got like this roadmap of what the next 5 years of PS5.
Are we not getting sequels? Are we not?
I don't know. Are we? None of these games were confirmed. None of these games were confirmed.
No.
That's not actually.
Dude, y'all said the same thing when the 360 was out, bro.
Let me chime in.
Same shit with the 360.
Yeah, let me chime in. One thing, if you paid close attention to PlayStation, they always build upon their exclusives, their franchises. They get sequels, or they'll tackle it with another, attempt. Majority of these games that have launched to PS4s, we already know are getting sequels. Spider-Man is definitely going to happen for sure. Spider-Man 2 is going to happen. God of War 2 is most certainly going to happen. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 has already been mentioned in talk.
These first-party games.
This is better than Gran Turismo.
And everyone let one person talk. Damn, like how many
No,
times people
like
gotta
you
say
said again, this is like kind of comedic right now, but again, every one of their major bangers that have dropped this gen is pretty much getting a sequel. So a lot of the PlayStation gamers know what they're getting for next gen with PlayStation, but PlayStation 4 going to 5. It's just a matter of what do you really get from Microsoft. Yeah, we know Hellblade is happening, but let's be realistic. All of us, before even Hellblade was shown for Series X, we all speculated that Hellblade 2 was going to happen. Did we not? Yeah. We all talked about Hellblade 2. And the thing is, we haven't seen anything else from these 15 other studios. And this is where pressure is on them in general to showcase those games and wow us in a way. You know what I'm saying?
They're working on.
We don't even know what the initiative is working on.
Oh, we're gonna see their game. I can't wait till July, because after July,
exactly.
all the shit's gonna be over in terms of like.
Smooth.
We need answers here.
Smooth. I remember every E3 now. I remember every E3. You guys saying, yeah, this is the time now. This E3, I can't wait to E3. E3 come, then it's okay. Well,
but let's be real here. That's hype in
general.
general.
Let me finish, please.
No.
Okay, Comic-Con is coming. Okay, well, no Comic-Con. Okay, well, forget it. Fan Fest. Let's see what they have at Fan Fest. And it's that repeat cycle all the way over again. And so now we're in another generation. We've literally had to wait a whole another generation before we possibly get something that is worth bragging about, talking about, and yelling to the guys.
J-Dub, but here's the thing.
What's funny too, a lot of people said Hellblade 2. I only can name a few people.
Actually, a lot of the podcasts I've been in, people thought they were making a new IP. They didn't think they were making Hellblade 2.
No, okay.
Well, they are. They're making good
chunk of people here, Hellblade 2, people are talking about Hellblade 2. And here's the thing about Hellblade 2. A lot of people who are hyping up Hellblade 2 didn't even play the first one.
Exactly.
Talk to me about backwards compatibility.
Can I
Stick
to the topic.
All right. What's PS5 doing with backwards compatibility though?
We gonna get to that. Let me read this super chat though.
Can I make a comment
about
PlayStation 4?
That's not what he said.
No. Hold on. Let me say something. Why the fuck are y'all getting a new console to play old ass games? Please tell me.
I mean,
why not just keep your
it's
old
not
fucking
the-
console? If it
Don't
matters
you
that
play
much?
Why you keep
Why don't
upgrading
you
your
just
PC
play
to play old ass games?
Why don't you just play games?
It's because
Look, regardless,
it's
let's
because
not
the
bring up the back
360.
to
It's
compatibility.
because the Xbox 360 is the most holy grail generation for Xbox guys, and they cling to that generation because that's a generation that technically, I guess they won or it was the best for them, and so they want to hold on to those games in those generations. What next
I ain't
generation?
never heard.
What from this?
You really
hold on,
pulling
listen.
this explanation
What?
at your ass, aren't you?
What from this generation from this generation, not 360, this generation, do you want to play on your X Series X?
No, I want to
What
play.
games?
No, I want to play some
What
of my
games
PS.
from
No,
this?
I want to play some of my PS4 games on my PS5.
No,
that's
what-
all I want to do.
Just keep your PS4.
That's all I want to do.
Okay,
But I want
then,
to.
get your,
No.
get your
It's not
PS5
only.
then.
No, it's not only that. It's the fact that
Smooth.
the
We're going
games on
completely off
Xbox
topic.
run natively better on Xbox Series X, and they do it. They reshade the game with HDR as well.
Listen,
like, come on, bro.
We're not talking about
that's
backwards
compatibility.
compatibility.
I know.
consumer friendly.
They
but
skipped.
you
They skipped
That's
the
consumer
concept.
friendly.
Yo, they switched the
Listen, you
topic.
gotta take them out of your
All
log,
right,
man.
all right. Hold
I
on,
have an
hold
existing
on,
library.
hold on.
Hold on.
All right, shout out to
Can I
Soul
say
King
something?
for $2. I got under the super chat. He says, question: when are these sequels games coming? 2024. That was when the topic we were talking about with the whole you're
man.
expecting
I
Spider-Man
think you'll see
and God of War.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2 within like
That's the
6 months
earliest
to a year
one.
after the PS5.
That will definitely.
Porter
That
Rock,
and
probably next
GT7.
year.
Porter Rock, you were trying to say something?
Yeah. So to the Hellblade point, all right. Let me touch on right
Mhm.
because I think I'm probably the only one in the community that flipped 100,000 copies across PlayStation PC.
Yes.
And everybody in the community damage control. Everybody went out. That was probably the only time PlayStation, PC, and Xbox guys were united against me just so they could fucking rag on me. Excuse my language. I'm sorry
I
about
agree.
this move, right? Okay, and even J-Dub tried to put me down, right?
I
Because
agree.
I felt it should have been at least a million seller minimum within the first week. And everybody's like, PlayStation guys were like, a war coming. Xbox guys were telling me it's walking simulator. PC guys were telling me it's trash that's not relevant. No gameplay, right? Everybody's damage controlling, right? Now,
What
keep
they
in
say
mind,
about Last of Us 2, Porter Rock? Last of Us 2 is a movie.
let's not go there.
That's a
Right?
PS5 game.
The
That's
point,
serious.
hold up, man, y'all going quick.
Hey, we just calling out everything we see.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is how does a game, and I'm talking from personal experience, that the entire community went at me as not being relevant to now being a system seller.
Yes.
I'm telling
Look, but the
people
thing
play.
is,
Listen, hold on. What I'm trying to say
no
is
damage control.
what I'm trying to say is even including PlayStation.
Did you even play Hellblade out of
Okay.
curiosity?
Who, me?
Who, me?
No, the dude that said no damage control. Did you even play Hellblade, the first one?
No, you didn't play it.
So you don't even know.
Listen.
So
Before we
you
move
don't-
on, before
you don't
we move
even
on,
know
man.
the ending. You don't even know the ending of Hellblade 1. You didn't experience Hellblade 1. Let me tell you something. I played Hellblade 1, platinumed it. But you mean to tell me you didn't even touch it, but you're saying that this is a system seller?
I'm telling you, this is the point I'm trying to.
It's a system.
Who said that? Yeah, it could be.
Hold up. Let me tell you this. Let me say this. This includes PlayStation, right? This includes PlayStation, right? So it's not like I'm fanboying damage controlling for them. No one really played this game. Whether it's PC, PlayStation, it's a
fact.
niche game for a few people. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's not gonna. I hope it is because I like
definitely
Ninja
didn't
Theory.
play it.
I
Listen.
love Ninja Theory.
Listen,
Let
that
me
game
say
launched.
something real
Listen,
quick.
that game came to the Switch. It came to PC. It came to PlayStation and Xbox, and it only sold 100,000 copies. Let's
Well,
stop.
let me
Listen,
say something real quick.
I
Look.
hope it becomes a huge title because I
Look.
like Ninja Theory.
It's
I
in
think
Game
they're
Pass.
great devs.
At the end of the day, is this going to sell a bunch of consoles? No, it's got a small niche audience that enjoy the Hellblade series. But for years, I've been saying, Microsoft, you have to nurture your brands. You have to actually work on your brands. I can't front them for making a sequel when I've been telling them to do this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that. It's just let's not act like this
I
is
agree
the
with-
biggest system seller that's going to bring.
But who's saying this?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Who?
Here's the thing.
Ain't
Hold
nobody.
on.
Besides Kid Smooth flipping
man.
out, who's been saying that?
J-Dub, no, I don't care. No, I'm not gonna. No, but now I am gonna say it could be a system seller because here's the thing: you're applying pretty much Hellblade 1, and you want to apply what that was to what Hellblade 2 is what they're could make it. And the thing is, Hellblade 2, it could be on a completely different scale in terms of budget and the way that they marketed this time around. I have no doubt that Hellblade 2 will outsell Hellblade 1 instantly. Like, I don't like with Game Pass, I don't care. Like, it will just by the share of what the effort.
It just depends.
Why bother making a sequel to a 100,000 seller? Like that shit.
Like Smooth. This is what I'm saying, right? This game. Remember this, Kid Smooth. Oh, that's a walking simulator. Remember that? Remember?
That's not.
We heard a lot of that.
Let me talk to J-Dub.
WC Playground games big.
I mean, it is though.
When it was exclusive to PlayStation, it was
J-Dub.
a walking simulator, and all of a sudden
J-Dub.
now, it's.
But that's not accurate
Come
though.
on,
That's like
man.
saying The Last of Us is a movie
keep
game.
that
Like
same
no,
energy.
it's a
I'm
cinematic
just saying,
experience.
Listen. Hold up. J-Dub, you cannot take the 6 or 7 people saying this shit on your Twitter and apply it to everyone.
Stop it,
I'm
Addict. You
tired
see
when
what I
people.
see.
When
You
have
see
you
the
ever
same-
seen me say that?
Listen,
show me receipts.
Such a broad
You
brush.
see the same stuff that I see, and let's not
I
act
see
like
it by the same 4 or 5 people.
Stop it, man. Stop.
And,
I'm just saying. Yeah, all of a sudden.
Look, but here's the
there's
thing,
only 4 or
J-Dub.
5
You
people
can't.
that have been saying
You
this stuff
cannot.
for all
But
generations.
J-Dub, you cannot condemn an entire thing from a handful of idiots saying shit on Twitter.
Talking to J-Dub, dog.
So, I'm just saying.
J-Dub, you literally are the backing force of the PlayStation community saying dumb shit on Twitter. Like,
No, but the response to that is
but the response is the whole Xbox community responding to it.
yeah, because when you ask people what games they're excited for, they say Hellblade 2.
At the mirror. And when
Look,
you look
you know,
in the
I'm
mirror,
not-
you can't point the fingers. That's what I'm saying.
but look, at the end of the day, it's more about the concept of them doing it than the game itself. We've went an entire generation of asking for sequels, asking for something besides Halo, Gears, and Forza, and they're finally starting to do that. You can't just it's only Hellblade. Like, come on,
Nah,
like,
Hellblade
come on.
is good for them. What's up, guys?
Addict,
What's up, Jazz?
what's wrong with
No.
hold on, Addict.
Dude,
What's wrong with me saying, well, can we wait till we see something before we?
And that's okay.
Well, that's what I've been saying, but all of a sudden, no, man, it's gonna be.
Let me interrupt both of you though.
All of those studios, those 16 studios, we literally haven't seen anything of what these guys can produce.
Well, actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Let me do this. Let me do this. Please let me do this. All right, yo, we have since all these studios editions, you have in terms of going into next generation, we got Rare with Everwild, right? And I don't want to hear nobody talk shit about that because people have been jerking off Breath of the Wild for 2 years. Okay, so you got Everwild,
That game
right?
is beautiful.
You got Ninja Theory with Hellblade 2. You got Ninja Theory with Project Mirror, like a new IP and a sequel.
Games.
All right. Okay. All right. So and then
How
we
do
have.
we know they're double A? How do we know?
That's what they're doing. They were
But
quoted.
you can't make statements when you don't know.
Nah, they were quoted as saying they didn't want to get in the
So they said
AAA
that-
games like that. They did. I can pull the article up for that. So they said
Okay, and that's old, and that can change.
So,
especially
no. Let me talk.
I'm tired of this double.
All right, so here's
that shit is so dumb.
Gaming Addict is
A game
saying
is a
like
game.
the
If
whole
it's good, it's
Xbox
good.
community isn't hyping up these games. That's all the games you guys have to reference. Besides Grounded and all this other stuff,
Halo
when
Infinite.
people ask you what you're excited for the next gen.
Pay the bills.
That's all you have.
Playground games.
Why does that? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why does it matter to you what people are excited about?
Because you got to be.
I'm
excited for the
enjoying.
next gen, right?
I'm enjoying I'm enjoying Wasteland 3 and Tactics, and people clown on me for that. But that's my style of game. So why does it matter to you what
Now,
I play?
I don't care what you play, Addict.
All
Plain
right.
and simple.
But you attacking people for what they're hyped for.
I'm not attacking anybody.
Let me.
right?
Well, that's
You guys
what you
are-
just said.
We're
That's what you
explaining.
guys have.
No,
All right, let me pay this bill.
Excited for those games.
We're
That's all
doing
you
a
have.
podcast, right?
Ding,
That's
ding,
what we talk
ding.
about,
Hold
right?
on. Hold on. Let me pay this bill right quick.
You
D
sound like
Almighty.
you're triggered, bro.
D Almighty Spartan. D Almighty. D Almighty Spartan God says for $4.99. He says these Xbox panelists are real life Bird Box. See, I don't appreciate that. He said when it's their fanboy, suddenly it's who might as well change their icons to owls. All right, I'm gonna address something right quick. Here's my beef with everybody. Here's my beef with everybody when it comes to like Xbox and hyping things. Right? You guys discount every game that's announced, whether it be a new IP, a sequel, for Xbox. Every game that's been rolled out, you guys have discounted them so they don't count. So you'll highlight the Groundeds and the Battletoads and maybe the Flight Sims so you'll put those on the lower pedestal, but you'll highlight them. But you'll completely ignore, we can't count Halo Infinite because it's another Halo. Well, we know Playground's about to reveal something, and you guys making fun of one of their prototypes, which is a supposed third game that they're working on. So that's 3 IPs in the book that they're currently working on. But you don't want to acknowledge that. So we bring up Hellblade 2 and Project Mara. We completely discount them. They're AA. So we can't really talk about those. And then we know about Obsidian since Grounded's in the forefront. We're gonna ignore the talks of the major RPG that they're working on, the AAA quality. I know you guys want to wait and see. It's just that every time Xbox get a game announced or revealed and it's showed to us, you guys find like something to discount it where it doesn't count. So now you're saying there's nothing, even though there's been 5 or 6 Series X games shown to us.
You know why, Smooth? Because for every one of those games that we discount, you guys do the same thing with Concrete Genie. You do the same thing with MLB.
Once again,
listen. If Smooth is making a
generalization,
he's making a
That's
generalization.
bullshit.
So let me make a generalization. Concrete
He
Genie.
saw one person on Twitter say that whole community say it.
Listen.
No, he said what y'all do. He ain't say what everybody else.
Y'all
do.
did it with Concrete Genie.
I did it with Dreams. I did it with Dreams. I'll give you that.
Y'all did it. Y'all do it with others. So stop acting like, we beating up y'all and y'all not fighting. Like, stop.
No,
man.
you guys got, PlayStation got some bangers. We're not
What,
gonna lie.
Dreams and aren't Dreams and Concrete Genie recent games? But you guys been doing this for years.
But listen, let's face it, right? Here, let me get down to the crux of it. Here's the crux.
No, he's doing the hand slap here. It's serious.
Exactly. There we go. Now, check this out. It's been 7 years. You got the world's richest company making excuse after excuse. Now, it was their fault that they did.
Both of them hand slaps.
Let me finish. Please be quiet. Please, brother, please. For 7 years, right? The world's richest company.
Someone play the choir.
Listen, you got Sony struggling, selling buildings to keep the lights on, making games, still investing in studios and games, even making VR and VR games and supporting that. You got Nintendo had a failed product, turn around in 2 years and double down and made another product and still decided to develop and make games for it. And yet you got the world's richest company not giving you VR. They didn't invest for 3 years, and all of a sudden they decided, well, you know what? Forget it. We'll go ahead and invest some. And now they supposed to get credit? No, they got to show and prove like everybody else. They get no credit.
They invested their money into that dog shit ass Connect. That's what they invested their money in.
Can I say something? All right. So I think we're just rehashing the obvious. I just, the last one hasn't been that great in terms of first party. Phil Spencer bought some studios. So at this point, it's no longer the same scenario. Now they just have to release the games to prove that their first party output improved. The problem is, and maybe the word is wrong, is I think people are expecting Microsoft to be like Sony and release the big AAA bangers. Now, I'm a paraphrase with this, right? About a couple of weeks ago, David Jaffe was on Zaire. They had that Ivory and Ebony, whatever podcast they used to do, right? David Jaffe said, and he's a big fan of Game Pass, huge fan of Game Pass, right? He's hoping Sony does the same thing with PS Now or wait. Day one first party. I mean, he is a huge advocate of Game Pass, right? But he did say, and I caught this comment from him, he did say that, when Zaire said that Gears didn't evolve like God of War to the next level, Jaffe replied saying that he didn't need Gears 5 to be the next big title. It just needs to be a good game because he's going to play on Game Pass, enjoy it, and move on, right? So I talked to Jaffe, and I'd be like, hey, Jaffe, I don't agree with that term because Gears 5 is a huge AAA IP for the brand. That game needs to redefine gaming thing all the time. He replied with, maybe according to you, but is that why Microsoft telling, Coalition Studios? You don't, right? And that brings my point, all right? You don't know MS's vision. Maybe MS's vision, maybe not the super big blockbuster bangers, but a lot of good games that people can play. Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, Microsoft, Flight Simulator, just constant output of very good titles, great titles right, to keep up with the subscription plan. Because that's the only way the subscription plan is going to work. You have to constantly release compared to the occasional big banger.
I think that their plan is they have a couple studios to do quote unquote AAA games, and the rest are going to be doing AA.
Yeah. I think that's what it is too.
They're probably going to have. They're probably going to aim for one AAA game of the year, and the rest will be AA.
How many Gears and Forza, and then the indies and the.
But that's not Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Oh, okay.
Do you not think the Initiative is making AAA titles?
Playground Games probably got like 3 of them.
Tell me what are they?
We don't know what the Initiative.
I want you to tell me what they're making.
I got a better question. How many?
We don't know.
How many AAA bangers does Sony drop a year?
Don't know, but I can tell you how many Game of the Year winners and contenders that they've had.
But
I can tell you. Listen, I can tell you how many
how does that
they've
benefit
had.
you?
I mean, they got
as a gamer, let me tell you how it benefits me. Right.
Two.
This generation, I was able to play the best games ever in my life. This generation, I spent $400, $399, not $500, $399. And I was able to get the same. Listen. I'm making a point, bro. I'm making a point. I'm on the road. I was able to spend $399 and get that same enjoyment from day one all the way to the end of the day.
And no one's denying that.
Okay,
there's no bangers
had a fantastic generation.
But check this out. I was able to spend $500 in the first year of Xbox launch. 2 years later, turn around and bought an Xbox One X. 2 years later,
but that's the same thing with PlayStation.
Turn around, bought an Xbox One X. Listen, turn around 2 years later, bought an Xbox Series X, and guess what? Turn around 2 years later, we'll be looking at something else.
All right, hold on, Jay. Let me ask you some questions. You got a PlayStation day one, right?
Yes.
Did you get a Pro?
Did I buy a Pro?
Yeah, he did.
Did you get a Pro?
Somebody give it to me.
Yo, Jay,
okay, no. Okay, just out of curiosity. Hold on, let me talk to J-Dub. This is Addict and J-Dub time. Everyone else butt out.
Interrogation zone.
Hey, J-Dub,
yes.
Now let's say that the Pro.
J-Dub's representative. I will, from this point on, you have to talk to me.
Okay, now let's say J-Dub. Let's say, J-Dub, that the Pro wouldn't have came out around the same time the Slim, the PS4 Slim. I know you'd have bought that too. Like, let's stop it. Stop it, J-Dub.
I buy stuff to give it away, but myself, I only play the OG Slim.
No, you don't. Let's be real. You have that Pro. Shut up.
Hey,
look, J-Dub, it is okay.
No, listen,
it's okay, but see, you have good games to play. That's okay.
No, check this out. Here is my.
Doesn't mean you bought the Pro.
My excuse for buying the Pro is I got PSVR.
Oh, so now
for the Pro. That's what
this dude got more
PSVR.
Look, at the end of the day, Xbox
do we think that we think that Halo is going to be the next game to show the 12 teraflops of this power? Like, is Halo going to be it?
Yes.
No, I don't think
no.
Hopefully, we're gonna see a demo.
I think they'll take advantage of it, but I don't think it's going.
Can I ask you Xbox guys a question? After all this time, do you guys really still have faith in 343?
Yeah. I do. I think they make the best Halos, and I stand by that.
You want to ask play Halo? Yeah.
You want to know why I still have
Master Chief Collection?
You want to know why I still have faith in them? It's because Phil Spencer were in that office and went off. He went off.
Tell him, Coke.
Oh no.
He went off on them. He said, "Halo 5, what happened? The multiplayer is great, but the campaign."
You know what happened?
He slapped everybody in the face in that.
He unzipped his pants, slapped him in the face.
Look, when it comes to 343. It would have been different. When it was 343, if they would have made completely bad games, then I'd say they gotta go. But they've made good games. They haven't made great.
Halo 4 is great. I love Halo 4.
The multiplayer Halo.
I got a question.
The multiplayer was garbage.
Yeah, I was good at that multiplayer though.
So, quick question. So the guys, Phil Spencer yelling at you. You're talking about the same that to release Phantom Dust. Original asset. The same dude.
Phil probably took him out to lunch.
The same dude that made the decision that when the Xbox One X release, he launches its side with Disneyland. Are you telling me this dude?
Super lucky still.
He made these decisions. You can't blame that on Danny D now.
Crackdown 3 was his favorite franchise. Crackdown was his baby.
Drop around that.
Hey,
Come on.
Crackdown was, and Voodoo Vince was his baby.
He bought 15 studios for a reason.
There's a saying. There's a saying.
Yeah, trip.
So let me ask Podorock a question. You don't think Phil being in charge of this division, the studios being bought, Game Pass, you don't think none of that has to do with Phil being in the position he is in now?
Oh,
because
yeah,
it used to be that, they had to talk to someone, he had to talk to someone, they had to talk to someone to get funding for the Xbox. Now he's sitting at the table with the people distributing the checks.
According to Mikey Bauer,
as far as
providing,
listen, so to answer
Mikey
your
Bauer
question,
got fired, dog. Can't listen to that.
As far as providing, look at the things Phil really did that. Like the handicap controller, awesome idea, right? Game Pass, great idea. I'm not joking. That shit is dope. I think it's even compatible with PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's compatible with all.
Great idea, right?
Yep.
Game Pass, great, consumer friendly, especially great service, right? Backwards compatibility, right? Elite controller, great job. Xbox One X, outstanding. The One S, awesome. But you notice I'm naming you features and not games.
And that's
you notice that, right?
They had nothing to make these games.
Where the
But at the end of the day, no one is debating
I don't think Phil
Podorock
kind of has that eye of the tiger.
Phil is not the guy.
No one has debated that the games were trash. No one.
But here's my, and I'm just making up a hypothetical. What if Phil Spencer doesn't really have the eye to know what a big, great game is for a new IP? You know what I'm saying?
There's no point in dropping on this platform.
Phil said Crackdown. He wanted Crackdown 3. See, right next to Gears and
listen,
Halo.
I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna say you give it.
Not Crackdown 3, but the franchise.
Phil Spencer said that.
I'm gonna give you an example.
Zach's don't make games, dog. Like I don't.
Yeah, listen. I'm gonna give you an example why people are nervous with your worldwide stuff, right? Because when Cory Barlog brought up God of War, Yoshida that said, "Hell nah, you're not doing this. We're not making this game. Go back to the drawing board. Start over. We're gonna give you time." So Cory Barlog went to the drawing board, and we got the God of War we got now. That's why people in PlayStation are nervous that Yoshida's not head of the table no more. Because he had this eye that saw, hell no, you ain't bringing this shit on out here. Yep. Do it again, right?
Well, Phil canceled Scale now.
Doesn't have that eye of the tiger.
That was 5 years ago, bro.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, he's got a point. He's been canceling stuff. I mean, maybe at the end of the day, it's like I said, you can't. I get it. They're not making good games. I was been told for a couple of years they weren't even. Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish? Look, I was told for a couple of years they weren't even knowing what they wanted to do with the brand. They bought the studios. If you don't want to wait for their games, I don't blame you. That's why I have a PlayStation and a Switch and a PC. No one is playing on one platform. Sure, we would like games tomorrow, but the realistic situation is we're not getting games tomorrow. They showed us Hellblade. For the people that don't like, the XCOM style games, they've showed us a couple of those. They have the Bleeding Edge for the PvP. I love that kind of game because I love hero games. I loved Overwatch. I love the melee aspect of it. Look, they're trying to give you a diverse library. Sure, is all of it going to hit? No. Some of you ain't going to like Bleeding Edge. Some of you think the game's trash. Some of you ain't going to like Hellblade. I know a lot of you ain't going to like Wasteland 3, but they are trying to diverse the library. How many years did people say Xbox needs to diverse their library? Like, we can't say they aren't fixing stuff.
They gotta be good, diverse games, not just games just because.
Yeah, just games.
It's about quality, man. It's not about quality. It's about
man, shut up. You guys talk like every diverse game on PlayStation is God tier. No, because not. Like, no, dude. Like, PlayStation releases maybe 1.5 God tier games like per year. And 2019 was meh. And
what about this year, Smooth?
This year is unforeseen, bro.
Ghost of Tsushima.
We don't know. I mean, yeah. This year is looking like it could potentially. This year is looking like it could potentially match up with 2018. This year looked like it could potentially match up with 2018. I think 2018 was PlayStation's best year. But you ain't gonna give me that every game that launched on that damn platform is like God tier. No, I didn't fuck fuck with your Kazuza. Wow. Yeah. And I still won't mess with it's on. That shit's on Game Pass, and I still think it's garbage. Like I'm sorry, it's just like I'm not falling for that trap. Like PlayStation has a hand. I will admit, PlayStation has a hand. No, all his little buddies been capping for that game for 5 years straight on Twitter.
That shit's fire.
Yo, I will say this. PlayStation realistically has a handful of great games this entire generation. I will not deny that. But you're not going to tell me, because the whole thing was, there's diverse. They had all this Japanese shit, all this Chinese shit, all this shit on Indonesian shit on there. Right. And people think just because it existed, it's considered good. Xbox, sure, there are more diverse games on there. There's different things, all sorts of things. Sure, they're not all great or god tier, but I'm not going to front like every game that ever released on PlayStation is god tier. They got a handful of games. Your games are God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted. I'm not counting The Last of Us because it was a PlayStation 3 game. Those are.
We better not forget.
So The Last of Us Part 2. You can add, and then obviously Bloodborne. Bloodborne. All right, so that's like
Days Gone.
Hey,
Days Gone's the truth.
We're not gonna say the order.
I'm gonna say this. Order. Hell no. I'm gonna say this. I would say the biggest thing for Xbox One that really they missed the ball on. Didn't have your big multiplayer this gen. Like Destiny should have been.
That is.
Titanfall exclusive.
I feel like they had
Xbox. Had Halo.
Titanfall died.
They had a chance to buy Respawn and they turned it down.
Titanfall, but they should have locked it down.
That's really what it is, because that's what Xbox is known for. That big blockbuster multiplayer system. And you just didn't have that this gen.
All their multiplayer that they made.
Let me pay this bill.
I do got dead right now.
Shout out to Halo Storm. He says 343 makes the best Halos. Kid Smooth, I'm gonna have to suspend your Xbox Live license. Dude, that's just how I feel, bro. I think.
Yo, can I talk about 343?
We gotta pay the bill.
We
got more bills.
343 Halos are trash.
All right, the Ravenflow says Phil canceled Scalebound and let Crackdown live. P.S. The Kraken is lacking. Phil's
already found the Kraken today. You
you can blame.
That's on PlayStation.
You can blame.
Hey, you got another one. You missed.
Found it.
Yeah. The Ravenflow also says Halo 4 came out under Matrick, not Spencer. He says Diamante. He says Mick Booty's offering dollar menu gaming on Xbox. Like, okay.
He's offering bootios.
He's stupid. Hey, here's the thing.
And then Diamante, hold on, I got one more from Diamante. I'm sorry, I apologize for missing these super chat, guys. It says, for every game ponies discredit for Xbox with words, Xbox guys do the same by not buying them. But it's on Game Pass, Dollar Tree Game, and rent at Spencer. You guys come up with the corniest shit. Like, but go ahead.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. And I'm not gonna. Y'all know I do this shit for right. I buy Xbox. I play Xbox. But yeah, I
don't know, man. You was just telling me you ain't never bought a Pro, so I don't know what to believe in you at this point.
Hey, say that for the J-Dub in the Addict show. That was behind the scenes talk. Hey, no, but seriously though, it's so easy for PlayStation guys to be able to throw a bunch of big games out there to combat. I hate to say this, but for every PlayStation game that launches, people are going to be looking for Xbox to release a counterpart game. We've been doing this for so long, guys. This generation, this is not the first generation of gaming and bragging rights we've had, right? We've been gaming forever. That's just how it's going to go. People are going to compare the competing brands. They're going to say, I won this season. You won this season. Guess what? We got this game. This game is, look, right now.
Like Apple versus Samsung.
Yeah, it is what it is. We got Persona. Right now is sitting at a 96. You got Dreams. You got other games, of course.
Don't even bring up Dreams. I'm just. You can have Days Gone, but don't bring up Dreams.
Listen, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm just saying, people will always look to the other side of the fence. Okay, well, we got this. We got this. Now what y'all got? And now we're finna get Bleeding Edge, we're finna get Grounded, and we're finna get Battletoads. Now imagine when those games drop, y'all know when I wake up first thing in the morning, you know what the fuck gonna hit my timeline. So be prepared. Like, I'm just saying that's what's gonna happen. Until
I'm not worried about those games.
Let me chime. I've been quiet for each other. So You know what Microsoft's biggest problem is this generation going into Series X, aside from the rough launch? You know what it is? I tell you, the biggest issue going into Series X and this new console, majority of the new IPs that could have been something great or that could have actually happened in terms of becoming franchises, and they could have built upon, they're not happening. They're not happening. These particular games,
no master sequels, no sequels to real.
There's really no sequels, and that's the sad part. These are the games that everybody was looking forward to the most. You know what I'm saying? Like that game, what was it? What was it? Quantum Break. Quantum Break was one. Quantum Break was one. Hold on, let me finish. Quantum Break was one. There's no sequel happening to that whatsoever. They could have did something with Sunset Overdrive 2. Not happening. Scalebound canceled in general. Let me finish. Scalebound canceled in general. There's just nothing here. There's nothing here. Nothing new. The only games that people are talking about for Xbox is Halo, Gears, and Forza.
No, this is you guys are frustrating me again. You're frustrating me again. Yeah, and right after this, you're frustrating me again. You know why? Because the one thing you guys was complaining about, sequels. The thing is, you should be more excited because this means only but new IPs. So,
well, here's the thing, though. Yeah, I'm all for you. You know me, Smooth. I'm all about new IP. I'm all about the future, right? But you know what I'm also about too? I'm all about seeing growth. I'm all about seeing what's next. You see what I'm saying? Microsoft has not shown me anything. They have canceled majority of the stuff that we were hyped for. And the sad part is, we don't know anything else.
Oh my god! It's like these motherfuckers.
All right, I'm gonna let Death Grips
This
go
is
on.
common sense. Y'all talking to me? Hey, listen, y'all talking to me. I don't participate in content. I tell it how it is down the middle. And from what I've seen down the middle, hold on. This is someone who falls down the middle.
I just want to say one thing. One thing, and y'all can go. When you're dealing with third parties like fucking Platinum Games, Crytek, and you don't fucking own the studio, then you're not gonna. It's not a guaranteed sequel, and that was the issue. So Phil went and bought studios, so he don't have to worry about that.
5 years.
Bottom line, that's it.
Why
does
Platinum make game of the year
I use them as an example.
You know what I'm saying?
I use them as an example. But if you don't have a relationship,
if you don't own the studio, it's called owning the intellectual property. Building
Listen to my point, though. Listen to my point.
There's nothing to really listen to. There's no damage on.
Hold on, I heard what you said. Just so listen to my point.
Did you? A lot of people cutting in.
Yeah, you said we didn't get no sequels, but we are getting sequels from studios
to the same 3 games that you already got.
And Hellblade 2. Like, what are you talking? Y'all keep skipping over Hellblade
1. I'm pretty sure. Did you not?
I played it on PlayStation. So stop.
Did you play it on?
I bought it before Salty Boy his. I always buy PlayStations. What are you talking about? Like, I probably got more hours in Uncharted 4 than you.
That's one.
I probably got more. I played multiplayer on.
That's one out of one. So that's one out of people on the panel, or 2 actually. Rather, who played this? But it's
hold on. But
let's stick to the point.
Interesting.
Obsidian's already confirmed they're making an Outer Worlds 2.
My point. They own the studio.
It's going to be a multiplayer.
Now hold on, Big Cloud. I'm not saying.
Who said it's going to be a multiplayer?
Hold on. I'm not saying you're wrong though, Big Cloud. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. But the difference now is Phil put the studios in place so it'll be a better chance of getting a sequel. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if maybe you too far up in PlayStation that you don't see it. But
you gotta keep waiting. You gotta keep waiting, right?
Waiting, whatever. You waited it. Hold on.
Yeah,
Salty waited all this time to get a PlayStation. What the hell was he playing before that? I don't know this.
Yo, hey, like I said, I was brainwashed by
Salty. You never.
I was brainwashed by.
That's what Salty was playing.
I do not know what he's playing, bro.
Then I played Greatness, and I changed my life around. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
hey, man, my life been changed.
Criminal, you know?
You sound like a chick that got some new dick.
No, shit. No, you know what it is? My man was playing.
Man, you guys Spencer Dick's getting real old right now, bro.
Listen,
can I say this, man? You guys are like, yes, we last 7 years.
Out, Porter,
like, you guys are.
Porter needs to stop worrying about this PlayStation. Get better internet connection.
Okay, yeah, no sure. Well, yeah.
Xbox dudes are getting boners over T-flops, and they don't even know what they are. And when you talk to them about games, they get PTSD, right? That's all you guys do.
Bro, you just getting a PlayStation. You can't really
Bro, I've been here, bro. I played all the PlayStation. I played more PlayStation games than lots of people that owned it the whole generation. Go check my stuff, bro.
That's cap.
Nah, what I'm saying is I played
and beat them all.
One thing I can say is this is the first generation that I bought a PlayStation early in the gen because of the lackluster game. And I'm gonna be honest, like because of the games. But I already see the difference in transitioning and going into the next generation.
I don't even see
the difference. It's completely different.
I'm a man of results.
Hold on.
It takes time to get results.
You just said the message and the message and the marketing was different, like going into this gen in the beginning, right? Is it different this time? Yes or no?
In what respect?
When they rolled that out in 2013, they focused more on the casual audience and focusing on TV and things like that.
The message.
The message. Yeah, their 2013 message was going to the casuals. Now they're focusing on their core audience with giving them like power and performance. It's similar to the X launch, like and how they launched the X. But the thing is, though, is that when they did that in 2013, the shitty thing was, and the reason why I bought it is because they had games. They had Rise. They had Dead Rising. They had games that I wanted to play. They had Titanfall, exclusive games to their console. And halfway through, they shifted and they said, we don't know what we're doing. And then all of a sudden, Phil bought a bunch of studios, and now they're focusing on services and things like that. So they have shifted.
Has the marketing been good?
They announced
they shifted, but they shifted. How has the marketing been? I want those games from the beginning. I want those big games.
Y'all want
exclusives for 2 years.
Y'all want credit for stuff that has yet to be seen. Why don't
y'all
have no choice
right now? I bought a bunch of restaurants, but we don't know what we're making.
One person
until your restaurant open, until you start business, you don't know how successful that shit's gonna be. So stop acting like we should all automatically give them credit for shit that they should have been doing a long time ago anyway. That's their fault. They didn't invest for 3 whole years. That's their fault. Now you're gonna tell her, well, they're going into another generation. Well, they making games now. They bought a studio. No, they're the world's richest company. They should have been doing this. If not, get out of gaming.
God damn.
Okay, you done with your rant there, Jada?
Oh, I'm glad done and done.
You need your medication, man. I'm worried about you. I feel like you're about to have a heart attack.
I'm done.
Look, at the end of the day, if you want awesome games right now, go get an Xbox. Like, there's a Switch out there. I'll never encourage someone to own one console. I literally just literally, I ask Kit. I literally just bought another PS4 just to play Final Fantasy VII. Like, go where the games are. If the game that you enjoy is on another platform, go there. Stop being on Twitter talking about shit you're supposed to not care about.
The world's most powerful console.
Okay. I've been quiet.
The world's most powerful console. So do you? They're going to have to demonstrate this power with their first party. They're going to have to demonstrate this power. You can't rely on third party.
That's what they always.
You said demonstrate the power. Did you see the video? Did you see Austin Evans' video? Like, come on.
What did he show? Wait, I don't understand. All he showed was Minecraft and
Austin Evans. We've demonstrated features and performance of the game.
We games that they make it to demonstrate the power of the system.
He didn't show the next gen game.
Hold on, let Chris talk. Let Chris talk.
Yeah, let Chris get burned.
Shut up. Nah, but
I gotta go, you guys. Though, but it's been a pleasure. Even J Dub and his non-playing PlayStation blow ass. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, bro. Peace. So I want to bring it back to the original topic that we were supposed to be talking about before we went on this whole other tangent, which was supposed to be impressions of the PlayStation 5 spec reviews.
Oh man.
Okay. So I want to bring it back to that. When it comes to the PS5 specs review, I was with Kid Smooth. We were live streaming, right? Half the time I was distracted, so I didn't really get to see a lot of what Mark Cerny was saying, right? So by the time it all ended, I said this on Twitter. This was lackluster. This was boring. You know what I mean? I wasn't disappointed in the specs, you know what I mean? Because I didn't run with all these rumor specs. But as far as the presentation, I was hoping maybe they would show some games demoing on the PS5. Not PS5 games, but PS4 games, right? So After that, I went back and watched it. Right, I focused in. Mark Cerny was saying a lot of things that went over a lot of people's heads, right? Because everybody was just focusing on how many T flops, how many T flops, how many T flops, right?
Yeah.
So when he started talking about the stuff was like the SSD, and he started saying that, yo, don't worry about like the TFOP counts or the computer unit counts, because that's not the end all be all. There's much more to that. But of course everybody sees higher numbers, so they automatically think, well, higher numbers or lower numbers means that it's worse. But here's the thing. A lot of developers and a lot of actual industry professionals, right? I'm not an industry professional. I'm not a tech guy, right? So half the time I don't know the shit that I'm talking about. But these guys know what they're talking about. Now, before you call all of this bullshit or cap, right? Whoever says that need to show me actually legit proof that they know what they're talking about and that they're certified, that they know more than what these guys are talking about. So Anthony Newman on Twitter, right, said, most crucial part of Cerny presentation, in my opinion, the SSD and the PS5 is going to fundamentally change how we design video games by removing limitations we've been working around the last two gens. Jason Schreier said, I shouldn't have to be the one saying this, but the PS5 SSD is huge deal and could actually change the way games are designed. Meanwhile, gamers would just look side by side specs and believe Xbox is superior. Sony's marketing could have been handled. Couldn't have been handled this any worse. Which I agree. Marketing has been trash so far. John Linneman said, the craziest thing about the PS5 is the speed of the SSD, 5.5 gigabytes a second. It's just part of the story. There's a lot of custom silicon in there to ensure that the system isn't bottlenecked in other areas. It's really fast on paper, a lot faster than this Xbox Series X even. And somebody said, well, load times are going to matter because everybody thinks that the SSD is only going to affect load time. But that's not what they're saying. They say it's not about load time. It's about accessing super fast data on the fly, and it can change how world designs are fundamentally built. I just want to read this last part from Eurogamer, right? They were talking about the AMD Smart Shift. They say it's a fascinating idea and entirely at odds with Microsoft's design decision for Xbox Series X. And what this likely means for developers will need to be more mindful of potential power consumption spikes that can impact clocks and lower performance. However, for Sony, this means that the PlayStation 5 can hit GPU frequencies way, way higher than we expected. Those clocks are also significantly higher than anything seen from existing AMD parts and PC space. It also means by extensions, more can be extracted performance-wise from the 36 available RDNA 2 compute units. So, with that being said, everybody's just looking at the raw numbers and stuff like that, which is cool. Yeah, Xbox has more power when it comes to the teraflops, but the PS5 has other advantages that the Series X doesn't have.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So it's not
sound like ES RAM.
No, listen. This is what it goes back to.
The only advantage this shit has is the SSD. The other shit is just finding ways to get.
No, check this out. We've seen, and this is why I'm going to prove this point here. What he's saying is absolutely correct. We've seen games running on 1.86 T flops that fucking destroy games that run on 6 T flops.
Oh god.
Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us 2.
Yo, J-Dub, scratch that, bro. I saw games running on the original Xbox One that shitted on the PS4. Like Rise, remember Rise is running on, what's the original Xbox T-flop? 1.3?
1.4?
1.4?
Or some shit.
900p?
What game?
Yeah,
what game?
It's about optimizations.
What PlayStation game?
It's all about optimizations. The developers have to take advantage of the faster SSD and build their games around accessing all that information off of the disk. So that's why I get what Chris is saying. Like, Chris did his research. He actually listened to what the guy was saying during the conference and took his notes. You have to have your games optimized around that. And first-party games from Sony are going to do that. Are third-party games going to take the extra effort to do that? We don't know. We're going to see. So it's a give and take. It's a give and take. Yeah, it's a give and take type of thing.
The ES RAM. They said
yes, you have
to help the GPU.
Can you hear me?
Is that going to be an extra hurdle to develop a game around that extra speed and just raw power that you have out of the SSD to make things quickly accessible? That's the biggest thing. Are you going to be able to do that? Or do you want to do that?
Listen, we won't.
Okay,
We won't
wait,
see
true.
anything
That is true.
until they make the games. Until we see the games, we don't know. And as a PlayStation centric gamer, mostly, you know, what I rep, I'll tell you that Mark Cerny said a lot of stuff over my head. I know this is going to be powerful. I know it's going to kick ass. But until I see the games, I can't say nothing. The same way I can't say nothing for Xbox One, the Xbox Series X. Until I see them take advantage of that 12 T-flops with my own eyes, I can't say nothing.
I've seen.
All right, here's the thing. Hold on. This is why you guys keep dismissing. This is hold up. No, it doesn't fucking matter. This is what we saw. This is what we saw. We saw the Xbox. Listen, we saw. All right, we saw ray tracing implemented and like in action demoed. We saw suspend and resume on multiple games demoed. We saw the load times in comparison. We also saw Gears 5 running at ultra settings, maxed out, unoptimized version. So it's like, okay, so we're not seeing anything that's taking advantage of the console.
Listen, PS5 has 0 load times. 0 load.
We didn't see that. Did we see it?
We didn't see it though.
He said it, but did we see it though? Like,
yo, all right, yo, J-Dub, if there's one game that loads on PlayStation, I want $60, bro.
If what?
If there's one single game that loads on PS5, I want $60.
Okay, I'm just telling you. Listen, I'm just telling you. No. What they say.
Watch how you phrase that, Smooth.
I said,
hey, but that's weird because when they were showing that Spider-Man loading, that shit was still loading. That
loaded in 0.8 seconds. That was instantaneous. Don't tell me that was.
They're gonna say the
What Microsoft showed is when you switching games from game, it takes about 6 to 8 seconds for it to switch over and for you to start playing.
Man, I ain't worried
Digital Foundry. Listen, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you.
Yo,
while we throwing out all of this stuff, right? Until we see next generation games, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not spending $500 and $600 to go play some shit that I done played all last gen. I'm just saying, I want to play the PS5 games and I want to play the Xbox Series X game. I don't care what y'all want to play. Y'all can play 360 games. Y'all can play OG Xbox games. I'm just saying.
So J-Dub, let me ask you a question.
On the new stuff, the only thing that's going to really show you what your money was spent on is the stuff that you just can't get anywhere else, bro.
So wouldn't you like them to at least show a demonstration of this? How fast?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, they should have. They should have showed a demonstration.
They should have showed, man.
Microsoft would have shown a lot better with their reveal than Sony's is still tiptoeing.
Listen, I agree, right? I agree. Yes, we would want them to show all their games, the launch lineup, the console.
No. I'm just saying.
Not the games, just showing what they're talking
I'm just saying. Yes, I wanted them to show everything, but they didn't, right? They did. Mark Cerny came out there and do what Mark Cerny do. He talk about the tech. He does nothing else but tech. So for you to expect Mark Cerny to come out there and give you a Vanna White demonstration of the controller, the console, and all these next generation.
Well, they showed the game with the PS4
Remember
Pro.
the PlayStation 4 reveal though? Mark Cerny was out there, and I thought that this was very dry today. Like when they did the PlayStation 4 reveal back in February,
got like some beeping back then.
Mark Cerny went out there. He introduced NAC, but he also showed a lot of the features and capabilities of the PlayStation 4.
This is a pre-recorded event that was from.
This was really dry and very technical.
I
think Sony is still tiptoeing.
Let me make a point about this. So
they're still tiptoeing still.
I understand that this was.
Yeah, you broke up.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. So I understand this. That this was his thing for, right? But GDC got canceled, delayed, right?
Yeah.
Somebody in Sony marketing team should have stepped back, and be like, okay, hold on. If we release this footage, who's going to be the primary audience?
Exactly.
It's not going to be the developer. It's going to be the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody marketing is going to be like, they're not going to like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to show well for the PlayStation 5. You got to look at it from
I agree.
perspective.
Yeah.
All right?
They didn't make it very exciting.
Yeah. If it was GDC still happening, then yeah. You can't compare Because but this isn't GDC. You're on PlayStation YouTube channel. Majority of the people are going to be regular game.
Know your audience.
Right?
Yeah.
That they have to know. Listen, I'm not a marketing guy, but if I'm telling you this, then who the
Well, it's not even just about being a marketing guy. It's common sense.
you see?
It's common sense.
They should have stepped back and think. Since GDC is canceled, let's go back to the drawing board to where we cater to who we know is going to be watching us. Because if we put out a good show, right, they're going to continue to do free nonprofit and advertise our shit. Because that's really what social media is about. Getting people to advertise your shit without you paying for it. You know, let the YouTube channels advertise your shit. Let people, this, all that shit. But that shit was boring, bro.
Yeah, and that was what. Yeah, and that's what Jason Schreier was trying to say. Was like, if you know that you have a lower spec sheet, why would you just come out and just reiterate?
Yeah,
your spec
he did
sheet
say
versus an Xbox when you could have basically showed a game showing like, look what we have, and they were definitely more entertaining with the PlayStation 4 reveal than what they did with this one. Like, I still think Sony's still hesitant to kind of fully balls out due to PlayStation 5 reveal with their game still coming out. But because they're still tiptoeing here. This was finally them speaking, but they didn't speak that much, and it was very, very technical. And you're right. They put it on YouTube. This wasn't a private video that leaked. This was like broadcasted, and it was very, very technical.
I'm about to head out, guys. You guys have a good night.
Have a good one, man.
You guys be safe in these streets. It was nice having this conversation with you guys. J-Dub, very energetic. Brought the energy today. You guys have a good night, all right?
I gotta pay some bills too. Restored Hades with the sleepy sign for $2. Ravenflow says Mark Cerny can put Chuck Norris to sleep. He also said more controller colors than Haagen-Dazs flavors. Wow. Okay. He says,
can I say something?
Wait, hold on. Ravenflow also says Microsoft has more controller tiers than major new AAA IPs. And Frog's Dream says the Kraken is not lacking. PS5 took it. LOL.
All right, hold on. Let me say something real quick.
I thought that was
go back.
Like, is this guy clowning Xbox?
To go back to what Porter Rock was saying, right? He's absolutely right. Most of the people that are going to be watching this is the fans, right? Most of the people who watch this, right, can barely understand what he was talking about. A lot of people claim to know tech, but they really don't, right? Including myself. A lot of people, you know what I mean? But
it was really technical.
So even with all his, he could have said all the same things, but what would have been better is for gamers to see the actual real world performance. You're gonna be like, listen, I'm saying all these technical stuff, but look at here on this screen. Look at Spider-Man, right? Look at the massive improvement that we have. You know what I mean? They could have done it like that. You know what I mean? Well, hopefully they'll do that soon with another because now that we got the tech specs out the way, the next reveal, which we don't know they're gonna do another reveal. Hopefully it's just all about the games.
Yeah, I just hope they don't use that same kind of green screen setup because that thing looked weird as shit.
But y'all do have to realize though that with this coronavirus and stuff going on,
we don't know how they shifted. You're right. Yeah, we don't know. This was impromptu.
I know it looked like there was people in front of him, but they almost feel like they were fake people.
Man, they were moving though. They were moving.
Yeah, there was somebody in the leopard sign.
Oh, for real? They look like blow up dolls.
Yeah,
they were moving though. They started moving.
Low key, they look like Forza crowd members.
Funny. Yo, it looked like Mystery Science Theater when they first showed up. I was like, wait, this is like the Mystery Science Theater.
They look like They look like the people on the boat in Spider-Man.
Hey, let me tell this a smooth man, and I gotta run. Thanks for the invite, brother. But with this being said, I really hope, man, Xbox will knock it out the park this generation. I hope all the studios that they have games that fucking crush Sony. I really do, because that's what we need in gaming. I do not want us to settle into a okay, well, at least we're getting this, at least that. I do not want it to be just games that just go into Game Pass. I get it, some of them are good, but I want Xbox to be great again. And so, I'm gonna still buy the Xbox Series X. I'm gonna still do what I normally But man, right now they got the momentum. If they just keep it up, man, they can give Sony a run for their money. And guess what? They don't have to win worldwide. If they can just take back America, then I'll consider that a win. Personally, I'll just consider that a W. That means that, look, last generation Sony kind of fell off. Nintendo, we'll just take this as Microsoft falling off, and then they got back on the bandwagon. So I hope this happens. But I got to say, we got to keep them feet to the fire. We can't go back to that. Whatever you say, Phil, sure, I like this when we really don't like it. We do have to hold their feet accountable. Just like today, there's a lot of upset, Sony guys. They wanted the power of Crown. And guess what? That's their right. That's their right to say, guess what? I want Sean Layden back. I want Yoshida back. That's as investors into these companies with these consoles and these games, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to hold me accountable. And I suggest on the other side, we should continue to do that with Xbox. And I'm going to continue making fun of them until they become great again, until they're able to fight the fight. Like I said, I gave them credit day one on Game Award. I said, that's what the hell I'm talking about. Bring the heat. I gave them credit the other day when they came out for this. Now E3, they need to show the games to knock it out the park, and that'll be a wrap. That's it.
Well, there ain't gonna be no E3, but I do agree. But the thing is, like I said, they've already showed multiple games in terms of next generation, and I feel like by the time by the time May, June rolls around, we will have a clear idea on software and games when it concerns the Xbox Series X and their newly acquired first-party studios. Personally, I think that's when I can't wait till that happens because I don't have to listen to that question again.
I agree.
I gotta tell you one thing, man. That Jim Ryan looked like a deer in headlights, like Gordon Ramsay looking motherfucker. Dude, man, he was like in there. He's like, "Hi, this is PlayStation, this is Sony," and he was awkward though, man.
Yeah, hey, I think that was a hologram. Real talk.
That's how Sean Layden was not sure. He was all nervous. He was choking up.
Yeah, I remember the first time Sean Layden was on stage. He was like a suit. Like he was just so awkward, and then he got.
I just used to being on stage. So
yeah, Jim Ryan was like, he looked so like I just couldn't believe how I'm just hoping that this was for GDC or just like a thing due to the virus stuff. But I hope they get that excitement there because they can't keep rolling out PlayStation like this. So hopefully, they get some excitement and let's get some they got the games and get this hype going.
That's all I gotta do is this show. They
will. They will. I hope they got to because
just post them on Twitter.
Yeah, you're right. They could just post something. Yeah, they could do that stuff, but it will be exciting because I agree. Like what Phil has done, that whole surprise in December and stuff like that. They're keeping that momentum rolling and keeping that hype going. And like Smoot said, they did show a lot on Monday. They did show like some games doing some demos of showing that power. So they did do some of that stuff. It's just we got to see what's coming that's going to really utilize that. I want to see new stuff. I don't want the series. I don't want the X. Again, show me old games running better. No, I want to see what's new, and hopefully that's what comes in May and June.
They showed us some games.
Hey, so
they showed something. They better, but
so
I want to see what's.
I agree, though.
Did they clear up this whole backwards compatibility confusion? Because first I heard it was just 100 boosted games that all PS4 games.
Yeah, I know. I was confused
too. But no, it's only 100.
It's fully compatible with PS4, but the thing is, so far there was 100 games that were listed. So they're saying that 100 other top rated games on PS4 will work on the system.
On the PlayStation.
Because Microsoft remastering.
They got to take their time with that too, man.
I think they're going to add on to it based off of what Microsoft did it.
Because what somebody said that since the PS5 has much more advanced tech than the PS4, they got to make sure all these PS4 games will be able to run properly on this new tech.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Which is why Xbox. It's the same thing that Xbox did at the beginning of this generation with their backwards compatibility.
Yeah, they had a head start with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can add in the PS2 and 1 later on.
I don't know, but PlayStation backwards compatible is looking kind of spooky, bro.
Why is that smooth?
They're hoping to have 100 by launch. and they were first rumored to have PS1, PS2, PS3, and all PS4 backwards compatible by default. So that means my dreams.
Hip hop gamer, are you?
I mean, he mentioned it, but I heard that even before hip hop game. Yo, shout out to the 371 people watching, bro. Like, just hopped in.
400. That's right.
Damn.
Oh, 400. Oh, wow.
Hit that like.
Still holding on to that.
Hit that like to 100, dude.
They're gonna reveal that. Hip Hop Gamer is still saying they're gonna reveal that remastered engine.
Oh, he's holding to it.
Why is
He's holding to
Yeah, he's still holding on to it.
Oh man.
But here's the thing with like the whole like I was just mainly caring about like the PS4 backwards compatibility because everybody who's like, oh yeah, you know, we get backwards compatibility with the Xbox One
legacy,
generation,
you know,
PS1 generation, right? Show me your catalog. Show me your collection of all these old games that you have that you're gonna be playing.
Pretty much going to be the top rated ones for sure. That's what I can say.
Well, that's what he
like all the
said,
games
yeah,
in their
yeah.
top rated bestsellers and latest hit selection.
Because
I can see on there.
if you don't own these games, these old games, like really old games that they don't manufacture anymore, if you go out and try to find them now and try to purchase them, they're gonna be a lot more expensive than $60. That's why I rather Sony just like all their legacy games, PS3, PS2, PS1. Oh, just put all of them shits on just have them emulated on PS now. And that will solve everything, in my opinion.
Well, they started with the PlayStation 2 games on there.
but
And actually, they're working.
You have to pay for it. That's the.
Yeah.
That's not true backwards compatibility. That's not.
Yeah, I don't think Sony's gonna do that backwards like Microsoft did, where you can put an old disc in. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah, probably.
So,
wow.
I mean, technically,
a lot of
what
games
Microsoft
on
does,
PlayStation.
put the disc in. This.
Yeah, it downloaded it. The disc just triggered the digital download.
Just a licensing, so you don't have to rebuy. That's really
what
I'm saying. I'm sure. I mean, the system's x86, so you know, yeah, a launch is going to be a big deal, but I think we're deep into the gen. The library is going to be bigger because you got to understand they can still sell the games, you know, because there's a lot of games. So it's kind of like an unlimited shelf. It's just like Xbox 360 was like made it to MPD. Like Black Ops 3, that shit was like top 10 MPD again. You know
Black
what I'm
Ops
saying?
2. Yeah.
Black Ops 2. Yeah, that shit like
Hell yeah.
shit.
That shit made the MPD that.
And Red Dead Redemption blew up too.
Yeah, and they didn't speak about like that smart delivery thing either. Like,
Yeah.
like how like you could buy games and then like see we don't know if like Cyberpunk I guess would just work or it needs that smart delivery to work. I think it's gonna be just like the X, like it's just gonna work but not detect the extra power. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's why they were both very strategic to talk about.
So far, I'm reading about
the power for it.
is enhanced for a particular system. That's the version you're gonna play. Like for example, let's say The Witcher, right? Let's say they enhanced it for Xbox X. Download it. You're gonna get the enhanced Series X version of Witcher. But if you're playing it on the One X, if you're on the One S, you're gonna get that version. So that's from what I was reading about smart delivery. It knows
that's
the
what that
hardware
is.
you got. Now, if it doesn't have the only version of Witcher 3 is the One X version, but you're playing on the Series X, then you're gonna get that version because that's the best version available. They didn't, you don't understand what I'm
That's
saying?
what I think. Yeah, it will just run without the enhancements.
Yeah, it's just gonna know which to give you, or it's gonna give you the best version of based on the hardware you could play on, which is smart. It's one less thing you don't have to worry about.
Yep. Yeah. Now with the PlayStation one, it sounds like the 100 are just gonna have to work, but like other games outside of that will not work on the PlayStation 5. That's where they got to clarify that because it sounds like only like almost like how the 360. How the 360 had a bunch of games that were backwards compatible with the Xbox, the OG Xbox. Like there was software basically, like updates. So I don't know. Like, does that mean all your 400 games, like only whatever they choose, will work on the PlayStation 5, or will they just work but won't be boosted? I don't know.
This is the problem with have an example.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah,
and like you gotta have a visual aid, man. You gotta have a visual aid. You're like, hey,
exactly.
It was rough. It was rough, that show, man.
You gotta have that PowerPoint for
I mean, the whole time the slideshow. Okay, he's gonna play something, right? He's gonna play.
Like I caught a headache, man.
Oh man, I could. Yo, he started breaking down the SSD like in a circle and then showing. I'm like, what the hell is this going on here? It's like geometry.
Literally felt like I was back in Faster
Now,
out.
can somebody explain to me how this SSD thing is going to work? Because I know you can use off the
let me
shelf.
let me get this. Let me get this.
Go ahead.
Right? Because this is probably the one thing the next gen, everything else, right? Like I know everybody's with the graphics, but I'm like, if you saw a PC game running out old graphics again, because that's pretty much what right. But with the SSD, with the speed of it, this got me interested in that Spider-Man, right? So because of the rendering speeds of the
Yeah, you breaking
design,
up.
you have to design a game far back.
Is anybody else catching them glitching on my screen?
Oh yeah, Rock, you glitching it. It's like you're cussing and it's like parental advisories on or something.
It's getting
like
for real.
Yeah, drop out, drop back in. Probably that's probably.
Okay,
what
let
it
me
is.
see.
The
Yeah, let me
Discord
do
thing.
that. It's probably.
He's dropping F bombs.
Hey, hold on. Let me address something real quick because people just assume that the whole thing with like the SSD only means faster loading time. Yeah, that's a big component of it. But the SSD it's gonna bring other advantages when the games are strictly designed for that. It's gonna bring other advantages. That's not
Yeah,
me
it's
saying
all
that.
about to eliminate
Other
bottlenecks
developers
and to
saying that.
give you straight access to
That's not
everything.
me. There's other developers and other industry professionals who are saying that. So people just
Yeah,
think, oh, it's just gonna load 1 second faster, and that's the only advantage. No, it's gonna bring other advantages
but
to it as
that's
well.
why I bring up the
The
ES
only
RAM
the
because
only way the only way that I'll be convinced about this whole loading thing is if they put in GTA 5. You know how long that
Oh
game
my
takes.
God, you're right, man.
Or Anthem. Anthem
The
loads things
coffee while he's
crazy.
loading up.
Man.
Holy crap!
So developers develop games, the map size, but they design it in a specific way to take advantage, because of the limitations of the I/O and fundamentally that hasn't changed since Jack 2, right? So that's why he put up Jack 2 as an example. He says fundamentally since Jack 2, no game design has really changed, in terms of how they make a map design, right? Now with y'all can hear me?
Yep.
Because y'all were mad quiet. This is the first time we was mad quiet. I was like, oh shit. But so fundamentally, and Jack 2 came out in 2003, right? And there's developers on Twitter. One developer, I think Chris read his tweet. This limitation's been there for decades, right? And simply
I got that from you
because
actually. I screenshot it from your Twitter. Yeah.
yeah. So this limitation's been around. So every game that we are playing is pretty much using this formula of how to make a map to cater to what we have right now, right? So fundamentally, with the way Sony designed the PlayStation 5, they could finally break free of that map design. Fundamentally change level design for gaming because they no longer have that limitation. Now, my thing is, if we're going to see that, because third party, they make multiplats. And they're not going to specifically design a game for PlayStation and then have to redesign it for other consoles. So unless Sony pays a third party to make an exclusive, you're probably only going to see that from Sony, which is why I'm an advocate for first party exclusives. Nobody's going to take care of your console like the first party developer is going to take care of your console. Because third party has no interest in that. They have no interest, even though, like, from a developer as an artiste, they would love to do it, but because they work for Activision EA, they can't.
Yeah.
Because the game also has to be on the Xbox One X, the PS4, Switch, PC low-end specs without SSDs. They have to cater to all these architectures. So while as an artist, they'd be like, God damn, I would love to make this type of game. But because they work for a third-party developer, they can't. So there has to be, so I only see Sony and any third-party exclusive title that Sony pays for is going to be few and far between, which is sad, but that's just the nature of the beast.
No, that's facts. And I seen an article saying that the whole thing was like how Sony is designing this console like around the SSD they said it's gonna force third party developers to make a choice, right? So we might not. So we're at least for like the first 2 years, because we know a lot of these third parties they're gonna still make games for PS4 and Xbox One. At least for the first 2 years, we're not gonna see barely any third party unless they're exclusives to the PS5 take full advantage of that technology. You know what I mean? So
most of them are not going to do it at all this gen because they can't.
Right.
Yeah, that's true
like
too.
because even not now don't take this as a jab at Series X. Microsoft did not design the Series X to be a very powerful console to give you the best fidelities, the best graphics, the best frame rate. They didn't design the console to fundamentally change game design, right? So by default, and you can't do it at PC because everybody's not going to have that type of I/O control on PC.
Yeah.
So from third party, they're never going to do this unless some party developer to make an exclusive for PlayStation. Incentive because they have other platforms to worry about. And whatever Sony money has. You know, they look at a developer, they be like, hey, wait a minute, we like that game.
But you also look at the type of games that Sony makes, like that kind of structure of making a game that, like, for these big open worlds and stuff like that, it's kind of like the games that supports kind of what they kind of make. So you're right. The first party is definitely going to probably benefit from it. But, you know, you never know. Like, there might be a medium that they use between the SSDs. They not use, like, the full feature set of the PlayStation 5's, like, SSD. But, you know, I do think that, you know, it's going to be... It may not be... I don't know if we're going to be comparing load times between the two of them, but I just think...
Oh, man, the load wars.
The biggest thing that I took from the whole thing with the SSD was that the fact that it's an open market and you could use NVMe SSDs from anywhere to put them into your system and not proprietary.
Yeah, and that's an issue Microsoft proprietary. How much are these hard drives going to cost for them?
Yeah, but the thing isn't this like
that can go either
doesn't
way,
have to be certified and it has to match the speed that they're trying to deliver? Because
but it's not just one company.
I would reckon Sony wants you to use the top of the line ones, so go with like Samsung, like the Samsung Evo.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just that because there's no of the shape.
Yeah,
and that's what Sony's concerned about. You know, because they said some of them
heat
have
sinks on them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
There's no universal design of.
But it's an open market though, and multiple people are making them, so there's competition to get their prices.
Well,
whereas a one
not yet.
Seagate, you know, is only making these expansion cards for Xbox. It's only Seagate.
Not yet, but I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and eventually you're going to get third party to make.
Right, Western Digital.
Great investment or bad investment.
Yeah, Western Digital eventually is going to jump on board and offer
They're going to
their
be
own
real
solution.
expensive at first. They're going to be real
Now
expensive.
you look at some places, you could get like a Xbox certified. That's like certified by Microsoft, and then there's a PlayStation certified external. So you're going to see those.
Right. Yeah.
My other question.
Go ahead.
Oh, my other question is: are we gonna be for next generation? Are we gonna be getting them big games again that we got for like, you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, GTA 5? Is that gonna be a thing again?
A lot of games are going to be compressed. They're going to be big, but they're going to be compressed for the games now. Like that's when they're
file size, right?
Yeah, the size, like the size. Yeah, they're going to be
I was
compressed.
about to say that, but BitCloud got to it. I was about to come in and say that, but all right.
Yeah, supposedly they can compress them to make them smaller now.
Yeah, the worlds in general are still going to be big. It's just the scope of them can now be compressed to take. You know,
yeah. So we're playing off of like zip files now, rather than having to unpack it and then play it.
There you go. It's like you can extract it all once it's in full.
Yeah, extract it when it's needed. So we're not like extracting the whole.
But not just that, because now it's dedicated SSD. They don't have to like triple, quadruple the same data over and over to access it faster.
Right.
You understand? Because I saw that, and that's on Xbox also. They don't have to, because like they a lot of assets, so that way it can be accessed faster. They don't have to do that anymore. So there's a lot of these. You'd be surprised how bloated a 100 gig game is. It's not like it's 100 gigs of
content. Yeah,
it's just constant. You know, like the Spider-Man. He said that the mailbox alone, they had to reduplicate it like 400 times on the hard drive. I'm like, God damn, for a fucking mail.
Hold on, is the VR coming out the same year as the PS5? I don't know.
No talks of it yet. No talks of it yet. That's going to happen eventually.
Yeah. I would say maybe probably 2 years after.
That's going to play into.
I would say maybe 2 years after.
Yeah, I played the build. He said Eagles fan 76 says adding SSDs. How hard is it for casual non-tech? It sounded like
it's a lot easier with M2 drives because they just have one screw. Literally,
they look
one
like
screw.
RAM.
Yeah, they look like little RAMs that you slide them in the little
A
slot.
bay. Yeah, he said there was going to be like a bay in the PlayStation 5 that you'll just put it in like a
so like a PS2.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
man,
what it sounded
something
like.
similar.
You said it was a bay, and then the Xbox has just a memory card slot in the back. So PlayStation letting you go in through a bay. But
What's
yeah.
was Microsoft going with the proprietary card? It was going to be the opposite. I thought Sony was going to do a proprietary thing.
I thought so too.
like the
Yeah,
Vita,
because they were
yeah.
saying about those things.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like,
Yeah,
oh,
when he
be
said
like the Vita
upgradable
all over
M2,
the
I was
place.
like, interesting.
When he said
That's
then when they
different.
reversed it, I'm like, what the fuck? What the
Yeah,
fuck
but
is
you gotta
happening
think
here?
about it's more in line with what they do now because PlayStation doesn't use you can put any hard drive internal
you
hard
could
drive
put
in
the
your
operating
PS4.
system on it, right? Yeah, you could just you could, people took out the internal PlayStation drives and put SSDs in, and put the operating system on it.
Yeah,
But that's still a Sony move to have like their own proprietary like hard drive.
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff
they
like
learned
that.
from
they
that
probably.
Vita.
I think they learned from Vita. They say,
exactly.
this
That killed the Vita. And for memory stick too. Remember the Sony memory stick with cameras? I remember that stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's using compact flash, and Sony's like, no memory stick.
Oh yeah, for the original PSP, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the PSP and for cameras.
But the
All
thing
that-
is, the way I see it is that looking at it is that this generation, even though this generation we took advantage of external hard drives and stuff like that, is with next generation we really can't do that. Sure, we can use it for our old games like our Xbox One games and our PS4 games, but both consoles are relying on SSDs for their Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 games to be installed on. They're both saying, don't put those shits on hard. You can't put them shits on hard drives.
Yeah, they're telling you don't.
backwards.
That's fine
Don't.
by me. Shit.
You know, but that's fine. That's how you push gaming forward. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of
Until they
people
make
have a
these things
problem.
external that we can plug them in through faster than
Yeah.
USB, I guess. Like
I think the
lightning
reason why
ports.
people have the problem is because we're already used to going to go back down to one. So people are like, damn, man, I got me 6. Now I got to go back down to 2? You know, eventually this technology is going to 8 terabyte sticks. So we're going to get there eventually.
But at
we
least your
gotta
old games are on the big hard drives externally, and they can run off of those. So
Yeah,
that's
the
where
old-
you bring your library with a hard drive, and which is good. So then your main and your expanded memory will be like for all the new games, I guess.
Yeah, for all PS5
5 and
games.
Xbox. and
That's how
Series
Series X is doing there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So your archive will be on the external.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is all about performance. People got to look at it that way. It's not about size of the drive. It's all about what the drive into the game. You know.
Yeah.
And you know
both
we're at that
consoles gonna
point
hit
too.
4K easy.
Yeah,
Both
we're at
these
that
consoles
point
are gonna
too.
hit
where
4K 60 easy.
Exactly, and just about to say with the graphics, like we're at a point now where again, like the diminishing returns, like graphic fidelity, it's there already. Like it's going to be now speed and accessibility of that. I don't have to wait and watch pop in of 4K textures. They're just there, and the 4K textures go even further because of speed. Like that's kind of where we're at the optimization phase now, and just delivery, speed delivery. Whereas like
GTA 6 about to look realistic.
they'll still find a way to keep like 1 minute load times. I'm sure. Rockstar.
But GTA, they didn't even like patch GTA for Pro or Xbox One.
It was a support. Yeah, it wasn't really a remastered. It was just like
but
that's why everybody's eyes on GTA 6. GTA 6 is going to be a lot. It's going to be a different story.
Oh, man. I just hope GTA 6 is not just that online only, like it's GTA Online. Hope they have like a real GTA.
Nah, they'll probably have a story in there. They'll probably have like one last story.
Yeah, no, they're gonna have to. Yeah. They're gonna have a story in there, but
the story is what creates the hype.
Yeah.
And then online sustains it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we
then they're not gonna
finally
put out
need
story DLC.
And we finally need a GTA that goes across the country. Like you could go to Liberty City. You could go. I always wanted that where you could just like get on a plane and to like another, San Andreas.
Hey, that might be possible now.
You better.
I know, right?
You better
That's what I'm saying.
Yo, because I
That's what I'm saying. Like,
remember thinking about that. I remember
That's
thinking
right.
about that, and I was like, "Hey, hold on, man. That might not be possible."
Let's make it global.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but
probably no.
Yeah, but in theory, the SSDs that we should be able to get these type of games in theories for SSD. It's like it's like a whole country and stuff like that.
Yeah. Y'all know Just Cause? Just Cause, man, them maps be huge. But they,
Yo,
but
Just
they
Cause. I like
nothing.
Just Cause 4, man.
I just want to see a Just Cause game finally run on one of
play
these properly.
I mean, shock me. Shock is with Splinter Cell. You know, give Splinter Cell.
Yeah, but I just want a GTA. Yeah, I just want a GTA game or a Red Dead game where it's like, yeah, the world is big, but you'll be able to go inside every single building.
Yeah,
yo, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Kind of, cause look, check this out, cause that's possible too. Cause y'all see how these battle royale games is doing it now. They making sure that everybody can go inside every single building. They probably could take some cues from that.
Yeah.
So the thing, so while it sounds dope, when you think about it, so imagine you have a game, right? Let's say like Spider-Man, right? And every single room you could go in every single apartment, right? But ultimately, what does it accomplish other than saying you can do it? They have to add some type of gameplay element, because if you don't have some type of gameplay element, then you're just wasting resources.
Yeah.
Well, like Red Dead, right? Like perfect example, like Red Dead.
They'll probably have to simulate like 10 different rooms and copy and
Yeah,
paste.
but they do that. No, but what I'm saying, right? Like Red Dead has NPC interactions like never seen before. Like you can literally interact and have a conversation with every single NPC. So like the next GTA will allow you to go inside to like any house and they can have NPCs where you can have unique interactions with each one of those NPCs.
Maybe just kill everybody in the house.
But
also Red Dead had some environmental storytelling in those places that you entered. Like they told stories with what was scattered around the house or whatever that told what probably happened and stuff. So,
but the thing about their whole going inside every single building is, why I wouldn't think that wouldn't be a waste of resource, because I think that would be a part of the gameplay element, you know what I'm saying? Because they're parts of interest, you know what I'm saying? They're all over the map. They might be a restaurant or a fucking big ass mall somewhere, you know what I'm saying? There'll be something like that. Players can go in and do whatever they want on there. That's what I think it would be.
Or they have money inside them, like you can go in there and just like rob.
So you stealing now? So you stealing now with Spider-Man? That's what we doing?
I talk about like GTA.
We need a Venom game and do that.
But
maybe like a zombie game. Like like a
They
Walking
should do
Dead
Black
type
Panther
scenario.
for Microsoft.
Where you could be in any apartment, and just survive in it and stuff like that. Yeah. So I could see that.
I mean, hey,
they're already copying The Last of Us though with that new game from Playground.
Oh shit!
I mean, Days Gone, you can go on a lot of.
I
thought that was the Last of Us 2 concept art. That's not.
We got a dog now. This I Am Legend vibes.
Like a 1 versus 100, or one person, like the other people are all zombies, and the other guy, and it's one guy versus all the zombies. So it's like a 1 versus 100 zombies, something like that.
Yeah, that's basically Days Gone.
What I was gonna say,
pretty much, right? But no, the zombies though are actually human controlled.
Oh,
oh man, yeah.
What I was gonna say is, I could see that, but can y'all imagine this though, right? All right, let's go ahead and just pretend that we're all just playing Last of Us 2, right? You know what I'm saying? And then like it's a whole big old zombie scenario, and then you see this big old giant Home Depot looking place. You go in there, you can get all type of weapons and everything, bats, nails, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's all type of weapons. You go in there, it's straight goodies in it, and then just chaos.
I mean, let's be realistic though. This is Microsoft. Odds are we're just going to get a Crackdown 3 remake.
Nah, this dude's messed up, man.
It's not fun.
As long as you can walk in the apartment and break it, it's all good.
With the power of the cloud.
There you go. They're going to say power of the cloud. Only this time.
Hey man, they dropped
power
the ball. Hey man, stop mentioning
flops.
Crackdown.
That's the one thing we have not heard in a while with this reveal is cloud. How the cloud. They did something today, didn't they? Did they say anything about what the cloud?
Well, they had that cloud gaming stuff.
Nah,
they're keeping it separate.
Phil feels like that's a word to stay away from.
Yeah. He's like,
the new secret sauce is SSD now.
They that cloud got real quiet.
It was just like the cloud, right? Like
as long as covering these concepts. How many times have I been talking about these SSDs?
I think low key.
I'm talking about this for a minute.
They keeping the whole cloud thing a secret, and then they probably gonna let people experience that. That's probably for like
I think they were
big multiplayer games.
I think they were trying to go against Google. man. Like, and Google just kind of fell like out of the gate, and Microsoft was like, back off on that cloud. Let's add a couple of games. Let's not talk about it too much.
Well, they still have cloud gaming, but didn't they also say that like the cloud is helping with
that's what I
the
thought.
installation of games and stuff.
Yeah,
like they said,
or the smart,
you can install
the downloading
certain games. Yeah, like in the
downloading
stuff will
boxes
just be in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Smart downloading,
so you can instantly kind of like play it while it's downloading. So it's like it's stored in the cloud or something like that. And
but we haven't heard yet. Well, like I guess it's stuff. It's just with this thing going around and like with all these everybody going digital and stuff. I don't even know how these reveals are even gonna work. Like if they're gonna be little announcements. Like I don't know how. Oh, this is a shitty year for this.
Yeah, it is for console launches.
I'm gonna say this: the cancellation of E3 could have unintended consequences because, like, let's say, because there's a lot of assumptions if there was no E3, right? This will be bad for the industry, yada yada. The virus, there's no choice, right? So they had to cancel it, right?
Yep.
If next year comes and all these big publishers are wondering, like, wait a minute, we didn't have an E3 and nothing really negative happened. Like our bottom line, the games, how we market it, how we deliver it, nothing was impacted. Some companies might reevaluate and say, we really don't need an E3 because nothing really happened by us not going. So why should we go?
Yeah.
Unintended consequence. Because
I mean, for the bigger people,
they'll save a buck,
for the bigger ones, but not them.
They'll find a way.
Like the smaller indie folks,
they
still
might get
heavily
screwed,
impacted though.
Like you had to holler at Phil and get in Game Pass or something.
Yeah.
Get free advertising.
Hey man, people sleep on. People sleep on Game Pass, but if Phil Spencer came up to me and said, "Hey man, you want to work on some games, AA games, put it in Game Pass," I'd be like, "Hey, all right, cool. That's money for me in my pocket. I'm good."
I mean, some developers said they got a good deal. That deal they did with Microsoft was they would have launched it regular. Microsoft gave it to them up front, and the only condition was service. You can still put out, or digitally, you just can't put it like on iOS Cloud or Google Stadia.
Yeah, that was
or PS Now.
Yeah,
that's not bad. That's actually not.
Nah, that's good. Shit.
Yeah, that's
after the contract over with.
Yeah, then you put them.
Yeah,
you got the money you thought you were gonna get any up front. It's a bad deal if they do shit like that.
Hey yo, Smooth, I'm about to dip out. I appreciate the invite. I'll check y'all later. Smooth, I'll see you on Sunday, dog.
I forgot.
All right, bro. Yeah. No, it's 11 p.m. So we're about to end this anyway.
Yeah.
But no, any closing comments, any questions from the chat before we get out of here? I know I forgot the Eagle dude. I forgot his name, but Eagles fan. Yeah, we did answer your questions that adding.
Yeah, I read his thing. Yeah,
I think because he wrote it in a regular chat because I think he probably missed it. But yeah, we talked about that.
I didn't see that one. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody coming through. Appreciate Puerto Rock. I know because you still like in Germany, right?
Yeah, I'm stuck here for 60 days. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
You can't fly out of there, right?
I appreciate you coming through.
Thanks for the invite.
Jez, Big Cloud, thanks again. Shout out to Saucy.
Yo, thanks for the invite, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, anytime. Appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate you guys coming through.
I got some closing thoughts real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
So I'm glad with official specs. Yo, you hear me? Yeah, hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. All right, so I'm glad Sony finally came out with the specs so we can put all these rumors and leaks and all these speculations to rest. Y'all know I was getting annoyed with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we can actually have the facts, and then now we can get back to talking about games.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
A great game just came out last Friday called Neo 2. Great game. Y'all should go copy
Playing that right now, play.
Tonight, the Resident Evil 3 demo drops. And
Doom Eternal's coming out.
Is that only for those who
Doom
pre-ordered,
Eternal,
or
baby.
is it open?
No. It's an open demo for everybody.
I didn't see it on the store. That's all I asked.
No, well, that's tonight, or tomorrow.
Oh, 12. Oh, all right.
Also, it's out now. Then it's because it's midnight.
But I got a question for everybody in here though. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My question for y'all is: would y'all play like what's the? All right. It's probably two fucking questions. My bad, but it's probably two questions. But
Oh man.
would y'all play AA games if they were like Rockstar games, Naughty Dog? You know what I'm saying? They came out and they were just like those type of games. Would y'all play those?
I'll play any
I'll play
AA game
anything.
as long
It has
as
to be
it's good.
balanced though. I want to play.
It doesn't matter if
Double
it's
A, triple A,
AA,
single A's, VR.
yeah. If it's good, it's
I
good.
play everything.
Exactly.
My favorite game,
double
my
A,
favorite game, my favorite game from last generation was Dark Souls 1, and that wasn't a AAA game, and that was my game of the generation.
Neo not a AAA, but it's pretty
Yeah,
goddamn
I
good.
consider Neo. I consider Neo, Yakuza AA games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
play
playing
them.
those right now.
Y'all think with this next generation stuff, y'all think they're gonna see an improvement or they gonna come back? I hope they come back, man. If they do,
Come what now?
Who come
I
back?
said, I mean not come back, but like make like a big return. You know what I'm saying? More of them come out, some more,
Some
get
more what?
high quality.
Oh, you talking about big AAA games?
The higher quality.
No, I'm talking about like AA games getting like a big improvement.
I think it already did.
I think they're great. Yeah, I think AA.
Have you seen
games.
games like a Plague Tale and all that other stuff? Like they,
Yeah, I think they did
go
really
toe to
good.
toe
Yeah,
with like
Plague
regular
Tale,
AAA
Hellblade,
games in terms of
you know what I mean?
graphically. Hellblade, yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Plague
Yakuza's dope. There's a lot of dope.
Like there's
lot
a
of those.
place for indies and double A's and triple A's. It's just like people focus so much on the bigger titles that they ignore like the smaller gems. And it's like the Plague's Tale alone this year is like one of the best games for me personally. So
Yeah, there's a lot of great AA. Some of the best games that came out this generation.
I don't know
Yeah.
about multiplayer, but yeah, pretty much a lot of AA single player games.
yeah,
I think that's the next evolution. I want to see some better multiplayer.
Yeah,
like,
man,
new
like-
multiplayer things. Like
Look at look at
I'ma tell
Persona. Look at Persona 5. That's not a huge AAA game with like a huge budget behind it, and the Royal Edition right now is sitting like at what 95, 96.
yeah, I just feel like this generation we went a little backwards with evolution in multiplayer. Like Battle Royale, I guess, is the only evolution of it. But like I want to see more innovative multiplayer stuff, especially with like. Like I was just saying, like a 1 versus 100 with like human controlled zombies versus one human control, like just some creative online stuff. Like I just feel like we went backwards. Like there was some cool things that 360 did, and nobody really evolved it this generation.
I'm gonna tell you, man. The free to play.
Yeah, you're right, man. Free to play,
like that model.
Free to play killed it.
Free to play killed everything. Mobile games killed everything. That's what started.
But it was the games that were highlighted and touted as like the best things ever. So they shifted people's mindsets. And so it's like the God of War, The Last of Us, and everybody wants those accolades, and so they're aiming for that, but they're ignoring like so many subset groups of people who want to play different things. So
if anyone would have told me that Activision was free, I'm like, get you Activision?
Okay, free.
Right. And that's a sign of just things changing. Listen, don't be surprised if eventually. I mean, maybe I'm reaching too much, but be surprised if eventually these doing free to play models on console.
Yeah,
that's
don't
they're
be
the
surprised,
ones that should have done it first, though.
Hey.
Those sports games are the ones that should have did it first.
Don't do shit.
Yeah.
Change.
Jesus.
Oh,
Just do your seasons.
You talking about Madden 2K?
Yeah, they should have
Don't be
been free to
surprised.
play. Just like
I think the
I can see that.
I think the multiplayer version of The Last of Us 2 might go free to play.
It might.
I hope.
It
I don't
It
know.
might.
I think it's gonna be on
Here's
PC
the
too.
thing
I
about
think
free
it's
to
gonna
play
go
that people
PC.
don't. Here's the thing that people don't realize about free to play. I mean, it should be, but it's not that obvious. The thing about free to play is anybody could grab it. Like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, unless their parents did settings, they could just go straight to the store and download it and play it. They don't need permission. They don't need credit card.
it's like instant install base. Like instant install base.
Instantly there. And then at that point, they sucker them into getting these stupid things for like $5.
Yeah,
$10,
exactly.
$2.50. That's how they make their money, So imagine like a free to play 2K, right? You know how many more people will download that game, and now they're gonna get them with.
I told Smooth I thought NBA Live was going to do it because of how 2K was cleaning up on the VC. Like they can't compete with them
Yeah.
But the way they did their street version in live is way better than 2K. And I've got a feeling.
Yeah.
I got a feeling they're going to try it, man.
Yo, free to play Madden would explode, bro.
Yeah, because and here's the thing: they only have to release seasons. They don't. They just
roster
update
updates.
the roster update.
I definitely think live going to be the next to do it because they falling off, right? Like they can't. They struggling to get sales.
They got to
like
shake it
that.
up. They can't just do it for
Yeah, when you do like the free to play model, like you're just promised more hands. It eliminates a barrier that like a lot of people kind of like scoff at, and they just like, oh yeah, shit. If you ain't got money,
but Naughty Dog do pretty
then,
good.
Like, you shouldn't play.
They're like the way they did their like how you say it, the microtransactions and everything. Honestly, I kind of think they got that mod like the way the free to play work like.
Yeah,
like some of the Last of Us and like I like Last of Us.
It's pay to win.
Uncharted 4.
If you do pay to win,
but the way they did
money.
it, right. They did it pretty good. I mean, I still like it.
Yeah, there's definitely pay to win weapons on The Last of Us and Uncharted.
All right, guys. So what's next? All right, the specs is done, right? Now what?
Right. Games,
like
sir. Games.
Hold on.
Xbox ain't got
Hold on.
It's theoretical. That's what's next. We doing. You think I'm playing?
Well, the specs.
I'm gonna theorize. It's gonna be theories.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that. But they also need to show off the console and what it looks like because we still don't know.
That's what I thought.
And the controller too.
Damn, I would really like to see the console.
The controller.
It's gonna look like them patents. That's what it's gonna look like.
Which one? Like 30 of them.
I preferred like the most recent one I was seeing that X shaped one. When you stand it up, I think it looks more like a PlayStation.
Oh, you talking about the one that was like a V for 5, but
it has like a slant.
Yeah, it has like a slant.
Like it's kind of like a.
I really rock with that concept if it's real. But yeah, there's still more questions about PlayStation. Obviously, we got to see what the console looks like. Like the what it's working with in comparison. We can stop using that damn dev kit and then now Xbox. We just really need to see games and price.
I mean, one thing is for certain, Smooth, and you know this, you can attest to this. There's no excuses at this point. It's like we got to see the games. Like, what you got, you know? That's what they really have to.
You'll see them. You'll see them.
Oh, on launch, you're gonna see a couple of new IPs.
Yeah, you'll see them.
I'm saying,
do you guys think, looking at these two specs, do you think they're gonna be priced the same or priced different?
Nah, PS5 at this rate, for what I'm looking at, I'm seeing $400. Easy for this console. Xbox Series X, people are saying is 600. I don't see 600. I don't think any company is even stupid enough to even attempt that $600 price tag. Even with you having the One X as an option, it's not going to sell.
Yeah,
they're not going to do that.
I think they're going for the premium. I think that's going for like to be the premium console.
I mean, like
this man said, just show Halo.
But they'll be eaten alive if they try 600. Like,
hey, for the next generation after the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, they should make a super console, bro. The Xbox Station, bro. You know
Series X gonna be 600, man.
Well, what's gonna
500?
It's not touching that 600 number, bro.
Yeah, no touching 600.
We can make this bet right now.
It really ought to depend. Here's the thing:
balls of steel.
Because you got to think, if we're looking at it realistically,
brave enough to do that.
The thing is, if we're looking at it realistically, it can very well fairly go for $600. Like
$600. You're right.
If the PlayStation, if PS5 is $500, then I don't see the Series X being $500 with it. I believe the PS5 is going to be $500.
The thing is that like the
reason why I say no, remember
PlayStation,
PS5
I can believe that it could
9
be that
terabytes in boost mode, pushing it to 10.
Keep also this one thing in mind, right? Microsoft put them in a position where, in terms of, they don't they're not in a hard position to where Xbox Series X has to sell a lot because they have other venues to sell games.
Exactly.
That's
another
why
thing I'm going off.
they got PC and they got Game Pass, so they have a lot of wiggle room. You know, PlayStation not so much. Sony has to.
Yep.
They got to move units, yeah.
Because Microsoft has a lot more route to sell games.
Unless
than
Sony
PlayStation.
starts unless Sony starts putting their games on PC.
Sony make movies.
No. Oh, Sony offset the PlayStation for movies.
Yeah, but
they're trying to move. They'll eat the cost.
But honestly, when it comes to the success of both these consoles at launch, the biggest factor at launch is going to come down to the price and also what are the launch window games, like the games from like not just like the ones right at launch, but also the ones like 3 to 6 months after too. That's
and especially if there's a disparity with those launch games, like even the multiplats, like if both of them are launching and there's some sort of disparity, that's going to be highlighted too. Usually, with multiplats.
Yeah, it is.
Like
marketing
Call
also,
of Duty. Yeah.
Like if Destiny 3 comes out, who gets marketing rights for that? Who gets
that? Well, then you got that too, yeah. Because Sony gets those. Control has like a 3 month
PlayStation.
Because you walk in Best Buy and you see nothing but post that one particular console, and people are going to gravitate to that console because that's all they're seeing.
Well, they don't know any better either.
Yeah.
So they expect it just to be that.
Yeah.
Sony still grabs those deals. Like, they got that Control DLC for like 3 months. It's so strange. Like, all those the season pass for Control is like comes out next week, and then Xbox gets it in June.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I won't be until the Series X.
The One X just went on sale for $199 in the Microsoft.
Yo, I had that thing in my cart.
But they sold out too.
Yeah, they took it.
They sold out.
They must have like 100 of them.
What game comes out first? Spider-Man 2 or Horizon Zero Dawn 2?
I think Horizon.
Why you said which game comes out first?
Should I feel Horizon?
Spider-Man or
no? So the thing is though, because Sony hired a couple of years ago, did Rainbow Six Siege, right?
Oh,
and this was a little bit before Horizon came, because that's what they've been working on, because they hired those developers and they had them in there.
You talking about Guerrilla Games?
That's what I was saying before.
So that game is coming out before whatever it is. Could be a new Killzone,
Resistance,
rebranding. Resistance is
SOCOM.
I hope it's Resistance.
Resistance is Insomniac.
That'd be fire.
Oh yeah, that is.
Insomniac does Resistance. It could be because everybody kept. You just got to deliver a good game, and by having the devs that did Rainbow Six Siege, that game is popular. So
that's exactly what I've said that.
It's going to be a multiplayer game.
Yeah, I said it in previous podcasts. I said the exact same thing, that they got one of the designers of Rainbow Six Siege and Guerrilla. They're working on a multiplayer game, so it could probably be a new IP, but it could also be like say if it's like a SOCOM game that's like similar to like Rainbow Six. That can be a big thing, man. That could be a big thing.
That could be crazy. So they got to reboot. They got to do a serious. Just start over. Just start over brand new with that game. Because I'm not a big fan of Killzone. And that's it.
The first three
I like Killzone too. I didn't like the other one.
The first one was fire. Like I didn't like the last one.
I like Killzone 2.
I used to mess with Killzone heavy. I used to like those games, bro.
Killzone 2.
Yeah, Killzone 2.
Killzone 2 is the best one.
Yeah,
like
then
the
when they went 3 and it was Call of Duty,
were good. Like,
why did you do this decision?
Yeah, I did like the concept they had in Killzone though, where they had the kind of different multiplayer modes, and the one mode where it'll be like a capture the flag all of a sudden.
Yeah, and you stay on the same map.
Killzones are there 3. Should I forget?
That was cool.
You just kept moving on the same map.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was
a lot more game time than you know.
It was long. It was like a Battlefield type game.
Yeah, you got your money's worth.
Yeah.
I think it was 3.
And then they fucked it up and made it into Call of Duty. I'm like,
that Call of Duty ruins everything, man. They ruined Halo.
All right, let's wrap this up. It's getting late.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank you guys all for tuning into this episode of Planet Xbox. We will be back next week. Hopefully, as the week goes on, until next week, we get some more relevant information to talk about. Shout out to everybody who joined in. That would be Jez, BitCloud, Porter Rock, Salty as Gaming, J-Dub, obviously the PX crew.
Pony crew.
Chris Righteous, Nick Banks, Def Grips, and Coke Boy, Jay.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for inviting.
Yeah, my bad for not saying much, man.
Yeah, bro. It was
Coughing
cool
and
in
shit.
Nah, it was good.
When
did you invade? What we gotta do?
Go wash your hands, bro. Go wash your hands.
Hey, yo, quit playing with me, bro.
Play yourself.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
No, Big Cloud was saying something before.
Oh, I'm saying now we'll have to get that one-on-one very soon for everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah, good timing.
This one.
Yes, and also want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. It's been a great episode. We'll see you guys next week. As always, I get to say this. It feels even better saying this tonight, though.
Oh shit.
Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. You guys have a good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We out of here. Peace.